Chapter 410. Puff. Xiaofan found that he couldn't be coy when he was with Tang Tang. Let's go to the bathroom. This Cheongsam is strangling me. It's almost deformed. Tang Tang began to unzip the Cheongsam as she walked. What deformed? Xiaofan was stunned. You're thin now. How can the Cheongsam deform? It's not the Cheongsam. It's my breasts. Tang Tang took off half of the Cheongsam and stuck it on her waist. She was relieved. I'm thin, but my breasts aren't. They weren't so big before. It's not good if they're big. Xiaofan said casually. It's good for you. It sounds cumbersome to me. But let's go. I can help you. Tang Tang pushed Xiaofan into the bathroom. Xiaofan was shocked. He had to admire Tang Tang. She was not shy at all. But this was good. He liked it. Goddess and probably wouldn't help him with this kind of thing for a while. He closed the bathroom door, and Spring Garden was locked inside. The readers who wanted to read it were not allowed to see it. It was a quiet night. In the early morning of the next day, Xiaofan left quietly. Yu Xiaochuan would definitely take Tang Tang to visit some guests of the Yu family. So, it was not good for Xiaofan to be here. If he weren't a cultivator, he probably wouldn't be able to walk at this moment. This night, he was tormented to the point where he couldn't get up. Tang Tang was a relatively bold woman who dared to try anything. So, although Xiaofan felt good, he also consumed a lot of physical strength. Walking out of the courtyard of the villa, he didn't walk far before a car drove over quickly. It was an Audi A8L, Yu Xiaochuan's car. Xiaofan had seen this car before. The car drove so fast that Xiaofan thought that Yu Xiaochuan was unhappy and wanted to kill him. But the car stopped in front of him. Yu Xiaochuan was excited. White Fox Hero, how is it? Tang Tang is not bad, right? Well, not bad. Xiaofan's legs went weak at the thought of the previous scene. Then get in the car. I'll send you back. Yu Xiaochuan invited. No need. I drove here. The car is parked nearby, said Xiaofan. It's okay, then I'll send you to the car. Yu Xiaochuan insisted. All right. Xiaofan nodded. Anyway, the photo of White Fox driving the Land Rover had already been exposed, so it didn't matter to him. When the time came, he could just say that he borrowed Xiaofan's car. After getting into the car, Yu Xiaochuan started the engine and said, Hero White Fox, if you want to come in the future, just contact me directly and I'll arrange it for you. Yu Xiaochuan, do you have no feelings for Tang Tang now? Xiaofan couldn't help but ask. In his opinion, this guy was retarded to a certain extent. Even if he wanted to curry favor with me, he didn't have to give me his new wife to play with, right? Hero White Fox, to tell you the truth, you also know that I practice the Chrysanthemum Treasure Book, so now I have no interest in women. Yu Xiaochuan said, so you can rest assured that Tang Tang and I will get along as sisters in the future. I won't touch her. Then don't scare her. Xiaofan reminded. I won't. Yu Xiaochuan smiled shyly, then, if I have any trouble in the future, can I find you? Yes. Xiaofan nodded and did not refuse. Since Yu Xiaochuan was already like this, the grudge between him and Xiaofan in the past had also faded a lot. There was no substantial conflict of interest between the two of them, nor was there a situation where they could not coexist under the same sky. Great. Yu Xiaochuan nodded and parked the car next to the Land Rover according to Xiaofan's instructions. At this moment, Yu Xiaochuan already knew the identity of Xiaofan as White Fox, so even if he saw the car, he did not ask much. He just pretended not to notice and said, Hero White Fox, then I won't see you off. I'll go back to find Tang Tang and compare her statement. At that time, I will tell the Yu family that you are the pharmacist I invited to treat Tang Tang. The problem in her body has not been completely cured. If it is not treated regularly, it will return to its previous state. Xiaochuan had already thought of an excuse. In fact, it was Xiaochuan who gave him the excuse, but he was happy to use it now. After getting into the car, Xiaochuan took out his phone and looked at the time. However, he realized that there was a string of missed calls. It was actually from Goddess Shen. Perhaps because he didn't pick up the call, she sent him a text. There were only 2 words in it. Xiaochuan's heart skipped a beat when he saw it. After hesitating for a moment, Xiaochuan still called Shen Jingxian. The phone rang for a while, but Shen Jingxian did not answer. Xiaochuan thought that Shen Jingxian had fallen asleep. When he was about to hang up, the call was connected. However, after the call was connected, no one spoke, only a slight breathing sound. Xiaochuan could tell that it was Shen Jingxian's voice. Jingxian. Xiaochuan said. You. Where are you? Shen Jingxian asked. I just came out of Yu's villa. Xiaochuan did not hide it. Oh. Shen Jingxian seemed to be relieved. You didn't lie to me this time? I didn't lie to you before, Xiaochuan said. Then you and Yi Xiaoya. Shen Jingxian left the wedding banquet today. She did not see Xiaochuan leave, so she deliberately asked her father to park the car near Xiaochuan's car and waited for Xiaochuan to come out. She wanted to see what he would do after the wedding banquet. However, after waiting for a long time, she still did not see him, so she could only go home first. When she got home, Shen Jingxian tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep. She could not help but call Xiaochuan. This was the first time she took the initiative to call Xiaochuan since the start of their Cold War. However, Xiaochuan didn't pick up. In fact, Xiaochuan had already entered the bathroom with Tang Tang at that time. He felt like he was on cloud 9 and couldn't hear anything. However, Xiaochuan did not answer the phone, which made Shen Jingxian even more confused. She called him a few more times, but he still did not answer. She could not help but angrily send 2 words over. She did not need to think to know what Xiaochuan and Tang Tang were doing. However, after sending it over, Shen Jingxian was a little regretful. Was she still the rational person she used to be? It seemed that after being with Xiaochuan, her emotions became unstable, and she was very easy to get angry. This had not happened in the past 10 years. Fortunately, Xiaochuan still remembered to call her back after having fun. My relationship with Yi Xiaoya is very complicated. I can't explain it clearly. Xiaochuan smiled bitterly. You can't explain it to me? Shen Jingxian did not know why she suddenly felt wronged and ashamed. Xiaochuan did not hide anything from her before, but now. Thinking of this, she directly hung up the phone. Xiaochuan looked at the phone that was hung up and did not know whether to laugh or cry. Yi Xiaoya was not his woman. He also promised Yi Xiaoya to keep the matter of dual cultivation with Yi Xiaoya a secret, so even if it was Shen Jingxian, he could not casually say it. It was not that Xiaochuan deliberately deceived Yi Xiaoya, but he also had to be responsible for Yi Xiaoya. After all, it was related to Yi Xiaoya's clean reputation. If she had been clear about her relationship with Xiaochuan like Tang Tang, what would Xiaochuan have to hide? Alas! Xiaochuan could not help but sigh, feeling that his goddess's IQ had suddenly been pulled down. How could the smart goddess become a love idiot now? However, it was not Shen Jingxian's fault. Love was blind most of the time. Including Xiaochuan himself. When he was in number 1 middle school, his eyes were full of Shen Jingxian, and he ignored the good of the young lady. When he drove back to the villa, the young lady had already fallen asleep. She had eaten at the wedding banquet, so she would not go to Xiaochuan when she got home. Seeing that the door of Xiaochuan's room was closed, she did not disturb him. She did not expect that he was actually not at home. After parking the car in the yard, Xiaochuan tiptoed back to his room. After settling everything, he went upstairs to find Yi Xiaoya for dual cultivation. maybe because of Tang Tang's serious kidney deficiency today, Xiaochen did not have the usual impulse for Yi Xiaoya. It seemed that it was good to vent his desire before dual cultivation in the future, so that he would not have bad thoughts about Yi Xiaoya. In the blink of an eye, it was Friday. During this period, Xiaochen was not short of money. The medicinal materials were given to him by Hongzhu for free. He did not need to worry about making money anymore, and his days became a lot more leisurely. But to Xiaochen's regret, there was still no news about the ancient jade. Although he posted a high reward for the task, no one contacted him, which made him feel somewhat helpless. This thing was really hard to find. As for the masked girl who said she would give him the ancient jade, there was no news. Xiaochen secretly cursed the big liar. She made it sound nice and said that she would give him the ancient jade after the matter was over. But the matter had passed for several days, and she did not come again. How could these martial arts people be so pompous now? They could say nice things, but if they could not do it, they should not say it. He had waited for so many days in vain. After Yang Tan failed in all aspects of coercion and temptation, he also stopped for a few days. Except for taking a seat during the break when Xiaochen was not there, when Xiaochen came back, he left without Xiaochen saying anything. It was worth mentioning that the registration for the basketball game was coming to an end. On Friday afternoon, the registered players of each class came to the school gymnasium, ready to have a mixed game to select the official players and the substitute players. Of course, the strong ones would play, and the weak ones would wait for the spot, in case they needed to substitute. As for the selection, it was not possible, because there were only a few people in each class who signed up. Only one official player would be selected, and the others would be substitutes. Xiaochen was also a registered player. He came to the gymnasium together with Zheng Xiaokuan, Lu Jinming, Thin Monkey, and Ma Gangmen. Yang Tan and Xia Shibin also followed them. Cousin Menjiang, that Yang Tan is sneaky. It seems that he is going to harm our cousin-in-law. Jean Bebe said, should we go and have a look? Go and see what? Watch Xiaochen get beaten up? Cheng Menjiang asked. Chapter 411. Let's go and watch Yang Tan get beaten up, Jean Bebe said. Isn't he an expert from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau? Can Xiaochen defeat him? Cheng Menjiang was slightly stunned. Besides, it's the stadium, and the teachers are there too. How can he fight in front of so many people? He can fight secretly. My cousin-in-law is a transformer, Jean Bebe said with a smile. Let's go and have a look. All right. Cheng Menjiang didn't want to go at first. It was just a qualifier, and it wasn't intense at all. Even if she went, she would only be wasting time and watching everyone bicker about who would go up and who wouldn't. Song Huawu naturally went too. She was also afraid that Xiaochen would fight with Yang Jiannan after being at a disadvantage in the basketball game. In that case, it would be a big problem. When they arrived at the stadium, the people who signed up were divided into two teams. There was no requirement for the number of people in each team. As long as both teams were equal, it would be fine. Moreover, the teachers did not specify the specific positions and responsibilities of each person. It was because it was impossible to have any teamwork in the first qualifier. Everyone was not familiar with each other. How could they cooperate? The main thing was for the PE teachers to see the individual standards of these people and gather the good ones into a team to participate in the competition. Xiaochen, Ma Gangmen, and Zheng Xiaokuan were in the same team, while Yang Tan and Xia Shibin chose another team. His purpose was to teach Xiaochen a lesson. How could he be in the same team as them? In this way, grade 12 class 1, which was not very good at sports, suddenly became the class with the largest number of people participating in the competition. The two teams started to warm up under the guidance of the two PE teachers. Then, they told them some things to take note of. The students who came to watch sat on the chairs next to the stadium. Some even took out drinks to drink, and some went to buy snacks. It was just like a sports meeting. Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei found a seat and sat down. Lu Zhenming ran over with a lot of popcorn and drinks. He passed them to Jean Beibei happily. "Beibei, how is it? Are you satisfied with these?" In fact, Lu Zhenming had given up pursuing Cheng Menjing. However, because of the special relationship between Cheng Menjing, Jean Beibei, and Xiao Chen, he still had to please them. "Not bad. Little Lu, you did very well. Don't worry, I have a very good relationship with swordsman White Fox. I will put in a good word for you next time." Jean Beibei took the snacks and praised him. "Beibei, when did you become so close to Hero White Fox?" Cheng Menjing was baffled. "If I have a good relationship with Sister Jingxian, it naturally means that I have a good relationship with brother-in-law," said Jean Beibei. "Oh, don't call me brother-in-law. I can't even tell if you're talking about Xiao Chen or White Fox." Cheng Menjing slapped her forehead and was speechless. "Xiao Chen, White Fox, you are so silly that you can't tell them apart," said Jean Beibei with a smile. "Then call them by their names." Cheng Menjing thought that Jean Beibei was mocking her. She immediately glared at her. Lu Zhenming rubbed his hands and sat down with Slim Monkey. Then, he said worriedly, "Menjing, Beibei, do you think Boss Xiao Chen will be at a disadvantage? He doesn't have any internal force. What if he is at a disadvantage in Yang Tan's hands? There are so many teachers watching. They are only competing in basketball skills. There shouldn't be any problems," Cheng Menjing said. "Actually, Xiao Chen's basketball skills are quite good." "Wow, cousin Menjing is starting to pay attention to her cousin-in-law." Jean Beibei giggled. "I told you not to call me cousin-in-law or brother-in-law. I can't tell them apart." Cheng Menjing said angrily. "Then don't tell them apart." "They are about the same," said Jean Beibei. "About the same? You can sleep with your cousin-in-law today and your brother-in-law tomorrow. Isn't it about the same?" Cheng Menjing said angrily. "It really is about the same." Jean Beibei mumbled. "I don't want to explain it to you. You won't understand." Cheng Menjing was somewhat speechless. "I don't want to explain it to you either." "You won't understand," Jean Beibei said in a low voice. "Are you asking for a beating?" Cheng Menjing was furious. Was Jean Beibei purposely bickering with her? All right. Let's not fight among ourselves. Let's keep a close eye on them. Don't let Yang Tan play any dirty tricks." Lu Zhenming hurried to smooth things over. "Slim Monkey, have you bought the binoculars?" "Yes." Slim Monkey nodded. He took out 4 binoculars from his bag and distributed them to Lu Zhenming. It seemed like he was really going to watch the game. The PE teacher finally finished explaining the rules. These people did not play basketball often. Therefore, the PE teacher could only repeat the rules tirelessly in case those who did not understand went up and embarrassed themselves. "All right, I hope that everyone can give their best. After all, this is the last large-scale activity in our high school years. Next, you will be preparing for the college entrance examination. Even if there are activities, there won't be such a large-scale basketball league." The players who signed up for the game nodded. In fact, except for a few who had ulterior motives, most of them signed up for the game so that they would not have any regrets in their high school life. "I won't say much. Before the game, the boys of your 2 teams should discuss with each other and see how to play. That way, you can have a preliminary understanding of each other," the PE teacher said to the players of both teams. Xiao Chen was about to turn around and discuss with his teammates. However, before he left, a hand blocked his way. It was Xia Shibin. "What are you doing? Are you in the wrong team? You are over there." Xiao Chen pointed to the opposite team. Xia Shibin's face was a little ugly. Xiaochen simply did not treat him as a master from the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. This guy is really annoying. If we weren't in school, I would have already beaten him up. Xiaochen, I will ask you a question now. Xia Shibi naturally stopped Xiaochen for Yang Tan. At this time, Yang Tan walked over and looked at Xiaochen. He said indifferently, "Are you willing to change seats with me?" "I'm not willing," Xiaochen replied expressionlessly. "Hee, very good. Since you are not willing, then I advise you not to participate in the basketball game. Give up as soon as possible. Otherwise, when you are in the hospital, your seat will be mine." Yang Tan looked at Xiaochen arrogantly. The threat in his eyes was undisguised. "You came to find me just to say this nonsense? I know you will definitely use some tricks in a while." "It doesn't matter." Xiaochen said, "Don't you know that when I was in number 1 middle school, I was called the Prince of Basketball? Don't you know that I used to be the prodigal Xiaochen? When it comes to tricks, I am better than you." Let's wait and see." Yang Tan did not expect Xiaochen to be so arrogant. He did not say much and turned to leave. He already knew that Xiaochen was a good-for-nothing without internal energy. Therefore, when he used a little internal energy, Xiaochen could only admit defeat. "Do you dare to make a bet with me?" The reason why Yang Tan was so proud was that he had investigated before. When Xiaochen was in number 1 middle school, his last basketball game was tricked by Chen Jinpeng's internal energy. "What do you want to bet?" Xiaochen asked. "If our team wins, you will change seats with me." Yang Tan said, "Do you dare to? If you are a man, say it. This isn't right, right? If you win, I will change seats with you. If I win, I won't get anything." "I won't get anything." Xiaochen looked at Yang Tan with a faint smile. "You can't win, but for the sake of fairness, you can make a request." Yang Tan said indifferently. "If I win, you get out of this school." Xiaochen said. "That won't do. I can't leave whether I win or lose. I have a mission." Yang Tan was not stupid. Although he felt that he would definitely not lose, he would not make a promise on this kind of thing. "How about this, if you lose, you get that kid, Qiao Enz, out of Songning City. I believe you can do it, right? He is from the Law Enforcement Hall of the Warrior Guild. It shouldn't be difficult for you to get him to leave, right?" Xiaochen said sarcastically, "If you can't even do something like this, then I'll really doubt your ability. Don't bet with me." "Why?" Yang Tan was stunned. "What does this have to do with Qiao Enz? Why does it have to do with him? What does this have to do with Xiaochen?" Qiao Enz and Xiaochen did not have any interaction. Wasn't Qiao Enz here to investigate the White Fox? He likes Cheng Menjing. I don't need to say more about the relationship between Cheng Menjing and me, right? Xiaochen rolled his eyes. He had already thought of an excuse. "Oh." Yang Tan was stunned. He seemed to vaguely remember that Qiao En said that he and Cheng Menjing were former classmates, and he was going to visit the Cheng family. Thinking about it, this was not a loss for him at all, so he said, "Okay, if you win, I will let him go." "Okay, then the bet is in effect." After Yang Tan finished speaking, he turned around and walked to his team. In fact, the so-called discussion of countermeasures, everyone couldn't come up with a solution. Now everyone didn't know each other's level. They all felt that they were very bad *SS, and they were not convinced by each other. They all felt that their ideas were right. However, it was still fine on Xiaochen's side. Ma Gangmen directly glared and said to the other team members, "Don't talk. Listen to what boss Xiaochen has to say." Ma Gangmen was a school bully. Although they heard that he was beaten by Xiaochen a while ago, it didn't affect everyone's fear of him. Moreover, he spoke for Xiaochen, who beat him up, so these team members didn't dare to be rash. "In a while, try to pass the basketball to me. I will attack." Xiao Chen said. Okay. Everyone agreed, but it was unknown whether they took it to heart. Anyway, when the game was on, it wasn't up to Xiao Chen and Ma Gangmen to decide. Moreover, this basketball game was a large-scale school event. Ma Gangmen was just threatening them verbally. Even if these people agreed on the surface, Ma Gangmen didn't dare to really beat them up. If he beat them up, who would participate in the game? As the referee blew the whistle, the two teams on the basketball court gathered and stood on one side. Don't make any big movements in the game. The game comes second, and friendship comes first. Just play your level. Don't think about those useless little tricks. After the referee finished, he asked the students on both sides to stand. Chapter 4:12. Xia Shibin looked at Xiao Chen provocatively and gave him the middle finger. However, Xiao Chen happened to turn his head to talk to Ma Gangmen at the side, so he did not see it. Xia Shibin was a little depressed. If Xiao Chen did not see it, wouldn't it be a waste of his gesture? This kind of gesture was meant for the parties involved to see. If the parties involved could not see it, what was the difference between it and him doing it at home? Therefore, Xia Shibin had no choice but to keep his finger pointed at Xiao Chen, hoping that he would turn his head to look at his finger after he finished speaking. Otherwise, it would be a waste of his gesture. Jean Beibei pointed at Xia Shibin and said to the PE teacher, "Teacher, there is something wrong with Xia Shibin's finger. He wants to withdraw from the competition." The PE teacher looked up and saw Xia Shibin raising his middle finger. He was a little annoyed at once. "Xia Shibin, what's wrong with you? Are you going to compete or not? If not, get off the stage." My finger hurts a little. I just casually raised it." Xia Shibin was very depressed and could only withdraw his finger resentfully. At this time, Xiao Chen also turned his head. He gave Xia Shibin the middle finger twice in surprise and said, "Is there something wrong with your finger?" Xiao Chen's tone and action seemed to be copied from him, but Xia Shibin knew that Xiao Chen was looking down on him. However, he could not say anything. He could only snort coldly and stare at Xiao Chen, wishing he could go over and beat him up. "Both teams, get into position," the referee shouted. With the referee's jump ball in the middle of the court, the competition officially began. Although the skills of these students were not very good, they still performed well. Obviously, they had watched a lot of competitions and were good at pretending to be cool. However, they were all the kind of people who bullied the weak and feared the strong. They began to snatch the ball fiercely and showed off their prowess. They had forgotten their promise to pass the ball to Xiao Chen before they went on the court. But very quickly, the ball fell into the hands of Yang Tan. Facing the burly Yang Tan and Xia Shibin who was opening the way, these students were a little timid. Some of them wanted to go up and snatch the ball, but Xia Shibin's small action made them unable to straighten their backs. Xia Shibin was a martial artist. It was too easy for him to pull some tricks behind the referee's back. Although the other students could not find any evidence, they knew that it was Xia Shibin's tricks. They knew that they were not to be trifled with, so no one dared to go up to defend and let them charge across the field. Xiao Chen was really helpless. These people. They were the kind of people who bullied the weak and feared the strong. They felt that Ma Gangmen did not dare to attack them openly, so they did not take the previous words to heart. Now that the ball was snatched and they met a ruthless person, they hid behind. There was no other way. It could only be Xiao Chen, Ma Gangmen, and Zheng Xiaokuan rushing over to watch them. However, Yang Tan was obviously a veteran on the court. He was not just a simple martial artist. When he saw Xiao Chen rushing over, he suddenly dribbled and changed direction. Then, he directly passed Xiao Chen and ran to the basket. F***ck, it's inner force again. Xiao Chen almost got angry. Back then, Chen Jinpeng used inner force, and now Yang Tan was also using inner force. Xiao Chen wanted to play with him properly, but this guy broke the rules first. If he did not use inner force at the last minute, he would not be able to pass Xiao Chen's defense at all. Only with the speed of a martial artist, Xiao Chen could not defend against it with the standard of an ordinary person. Yang Tan was ready to shoot, but Xiao Chen quickly ran under the basket. He did not go up to block, but just waited below. This made Yang Tan slightly stunned. He thought to himself that this kid knew that he could not defend, so he gave up or something. He had already run over, but he did not jump up and let me go. However, Yang Tan had already taken off. He could not care so much and directly shot. However, what made Yang Tan's eyes almost pop out was that the basketball that should have entered the basket hit the side of the basket directly, bounced up, and fell down. It happened to be caught by Xiao Chen, who was standing below. What was going on? Yang Tan was quite confident in his inner force. Not to mention a basketball, he could even throw a cannonball in, but he missed. Xiao Chen picked up the basketball and ran. He ignored the stunned Yang Tan standing there and sneered in his heart. I am a cultivator after all. Can't I handle your inner force? He directly used air manipulation and the basketball changed direction. After being stunned for a while, Yang Tan realized that it was not good. However, he saw that Xiao Chen had already run away, and Xia Shibin was already chasing after him. He quickly ran to chase after him, but Xiao Chen's speed was too fast. Xia Shibin could not catch up with him even though he was following behind. Xia Shibin did not want to run too fast compared to ordinary people, so he did not use his inner force. However, it seemed that he had to use his inner force now, so he quickly used his inner force to chase after him. However, before Xiao Chen reached the basket, he started shooting from beyond the three-point line, which caught Xia Shibin unprepared. When he used his inner force to catch up, Xiao Chen had already completed the shot. The basketball brushed the board and went into the basket. Xiao Chen scored. As the scoring began, the enthusiasm of the students watching the game soared. They all applauded and cheered. It was very exciting. Come on, cousin-in-law. Jean Bebe waved the snacks in her hand to encourage Xiao Chen. Don't call him that. Cheng Menjing glared at Jean Bebe. You can cheer for him, but don't call him cousin-in-law. Oh, come on, brother-in-law Xiao Chen. Jean Bebe roared. Just sit down. Cheng Menjing pressed Jean Bebe back to her seat. Let me do it. Lu Jinming ran to the edge of the court and waved his hands. Boss Xiao Chen, come on. Beat Yang Tan and Xia Shibin. The game continued. Although Xiao Chen scored, the basketball still fell into someone else's hands. Xia Shibin's eyes were sharp. He snatched it and threw it to Yang Tan. Yang Tan ran to shoot. Xiao Chen chased after him, and Ma Gangmen defended in front. However, Yang Tan went around him in a flash. Then, he suddenly pointed with his left hand. Ma Gangmen directly squatted on the ground without being seen by the people in the court. In fact, it only made him lose his breath. He did not cause any damage. Therefore, when the referee saw it, he could only think that Ma Gangmen had lost his breath. I knew you couldn't defend, trash. Yang Tan scolded Ma Gangmen with a smile as he passed by him. Then, he jumped and shot. Ma Gangmen only stood up after a long time of pain. However, it was too late to stop Yang Tan now. None of the players on Xiao Chen's side dared to stop Yang Tan. Otherwise, Ma Gangmen would be the next example. Although the referee saw this scene, he could not determine whether Yang Tan had secretly done something. However, as long as no one saw it, even if he had done something, it was because he was smart. Even in an international competition, dirty tricks were still prohibited. There was nothing that could be done about it. However, if you could do it without anyone knowing, it would be a sign of your capability. If Yang Tan could do the same in the competition against number 1 high school, it would not be difficult for number 2 high school to win. Therefore, the referee was a bit selfish. He did not question Yang Tan. Moreover, he roughly identified a few people who would go to the competition. They were Xiao Chen, Yang Tan, and Xia Shibin. The basketball was about to enter the basket. However, for some unknown reason, it knocked against the basket and bounced out. Xiao Chen, who had rushed there, caught it. Damn! Yang Tan could not believe it. I missed it again. How is this possible? He was not only a martial artist, but he also used to play basketball when he was young. How could it be possible that he missed it twice? Could it be that there was something wrong with the basketball and the basket? Were they not the normal size? However, there was no problem with the feel of the ball. There was also no problem with the height of the basket. Yang Tan was very depressed and unhappy. However, this time, he had learned his lesson. He did not stare blankly. Instead, he saw Xiao Chen snatch the ball and directly ran over to chase after him. Although Yang Tan's movements were smooth and looked very cool, the audience outside the court could not help but be a little disappointed with him since he did not score twice. Ha 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 ha. Jean Bebe even laughed. Stinky hand. Even the referee was very regretful. Yang Tan's movements were very standard and he had a lot of tricks, but he did not score. Xiao Chen's speed was very fast. In Yang Tan's opinion, it was really not easy for a person without inner force to have such a physique and quality. However, for a martial artist, without inner force, no matter how good his physique was, he was just an ordinary person. It was not worth mentioning. Xiao Chen was lucky and had a good shot. Yang Tan decided to secretly use a trick to make Xiao Chen lie on the ground directly. It would be better if he could not play. Therefore, when he passed by Xiao Chen, he seemed to be chasing after him. However, he secretly stretched out his left hand and touched Xiao Chen's acupuncture point. Xiao Chen casually turned sideways and directly dodged it. Not bad, trash. You have good skills. It seems that you have practiced a lot in order to cultivate inner force all these years. However, trash is trash. It is useless in front of us martial artists. Yang Tan could not help but make sarcastic remarks when his attack did not succeed. Who is trash? We will know in a while. Xiao Chen sneered and said, I advise you not to play tricks. Otherwise, if I do, I can kill you. Damn, sure. Then why don't you do it for me to see? Yang Tan sneered disapprovingly. Slap. Xiao Chen slapped Yang Tan's face, causing him to be dumbfounded. You hit me? Yang Tan did not expect that Xiao Chen's so-called trick was to slap him. Wasn't this a foul? Although he was angry, he was also waiting for the referee to blow the whistle. However, after waiting and waiting, nothing happened. Xiao Chen had already run to the three-point line and directly shot. Score! Yang Tan was dumbfounded. What was going on? He directly shouted to stop. The referee looked at Yang Tan with some confusion. Student Yang Tan, what's the matter? Xiao Chen slapped me. It's a foul. Yang Tan was a little flustered and exasperated. Did the referee slip away just now and didn't see it or something? From what he said, it seemed like he didn't know about this. Chapter 4:13. What? The referee was stunned and looked at Yang Tan strangely. When did Xiao Chen hit you? Teacher, you might not have noticed it just now, but the students below the stage and my teammates can prove it. Yang Tan pointed to his red face and said, and my face can prove it too. Xiao Chen hit someone and it's a foul. Student Xiao Chen, did you hit him? The referee was a little baffled. He didn't see Xiao Chen hit someone, but half of Yang Tan's face was already swollen. It wasn't like this before. Did he really get hit? No. Xiao Chen was also baffled. When did I hit him? You. Teacher, everyone can testify. Yang Tan was furious. Who can testify? Ask them who saw it. Xiaochen had a look of indignation on his face as he said, I say, Yang Tan, can you not be so shameless? You saw that I scored and didn't want the score to take effect, so you deliberately hit yourself and made your face swollen. You want to frame me for a foul and hit you? How can you be like this? You motherf *cur. Yang Tan was so angry that he wanted to curse. However, he saw that the students outside and in the stadium were all looking at Yang Tan inexplicably. Obviously, they didn't see the scene of Xiaochen hitting someone. No one could testify for him. Xiaofan, did you see it? Yang Tan was so angry that his face was red and his eyes were about to spit fire. I saw it. Although Xiaofan didn't see it, he could only bite the bullet and say that he saw it. Teacher, Xiaofan and Yang Tan are in cahoots. I suspect that he is perjury. Jean Bebe raised her hand and said, moreover, he was so far away just now. How could he see it? Did anyone else see it? The referee nodded and asked the others. No one answered, but they all shook their heads to show that they didn't see it. Yang Tan was about to explode. Is there such a thing? He was hit, but he said that he didn't see it? How could this be possible? However, Yang Tan also knew that it couldn't be done. Now, only Xiaofan could prove it. So many others said that they didn't see it. It was useless even if Xiaofan said it to the heavens. Xiaofan. Yang Tan yelled angrily. Brother Yang, what's wrong? Xiaofan responded quickly. Don't do anything later. Take your phone and record it for me. Let's see if Xiaochen still dares to hit people. Yang Tan ordered angrily. Brother Yang, but I didn't bring my phone. Xiaofan patted his pocket and said. Where's your phone? Yang Tan glared at him and thought to himself, are you an idiot? Even if you didn't bring it, you should have said that you did. You could have scared Xiaochen so that he wouldn't dare to act rashly. Aren't we playing basketball? I thought it would be uncomfortable to put it in my pocket, so I put it in the classroom. Xiaofan said. Damn it! Yang Tan snorted, then you better watch him. Don't do anything but keep an eye on Xiaochen. Don't let him get the ball. All right. Xiaofan quickly nodded. The game continued. Yang Tan continued to play gloomily. Xiaochen grinned at him. However, Xiaochen was probably the only one who used the power of a cultivator in daily life. He used the power of a cultivator to cook, he used it in basketball, and he even used the illusion. Therefore, other than Yang Tan, the person involved, no one else saw Xiaochen hit people. This time, the basketball was directly grabbed by Xiaochen. Xiaofan and Yang Tan were like two mountains, blocking in front of Xiaochen. They wouldn't let him pass no matter what. However, Xiaochen didn't care and directly rushed towards the two of them, dribbling the ball to hit people. Yang Tan and Xiaofan looked at each other and were overjoyed. The two of them didn't dodge. In order to make it look real, they were directly hit by Xiaochen and fell to the ground at the same time. They fell to the ground and squatted down in pain. Meanwhile, Xiaochen directly shot the ball. It was different from the previous three-point line shot. This time, the distance was further. Everyone thought it was impossible to score, but under everyone's shocked gazes, the basketball went into the basket and scored. Then, there was an uproar outside the court. Not only were there cheers, but there was also a lot of laughter. Yang Tan and Xiaofan were overjoyed. They thought to themselves, someone finally saw through it. So what if you made the shot? Even if you are awesome and skilled, you still dribbled the ball and hit someone. However, what they didn't know was that the scene that the spectators saw was that after Xiaochen was stopped by the two of them, he directly stopped and shot the ball, while the two of them fell backwards. Although the fall was very natural, there was no doubt that it was a fake because Xiaochen didn't touch them at all. The game didn't stop but continued. This made Yang Tan and Xiaofan, who were sitting on the ground, a little stunned. Originally, they were waiting for the referee to pronounce the verdict, but after waiting for a while, the game continued. They looked up at the scoreboard and saw that Xiao Chen's shot was effective, causing Yang Tan to suddenly explode. Stop! Just now, Xiao Chen dribbled the ball and hit someone. Why didn't he get a foul? Yang Tan yelled. The referee was amused by Yang Tan this time. I say, Yang Tan, you and Xiaofan pretended to fall. Xiao Chen had already shot the ball. Why did he still hit you? Impossible. He clearly hit us before shooting the ball. Yang Tan was about to explode. How could this referee invert the truth? He angrily looked at the others in the court. Everyone should have seen it this time, right? Brother Yang, I saw it. I can testify. Xiaofan saw the awkward silence again, so he stood up and said. However, when Xiaofan stood up, it caused everyone on the court to laugh. He faked with Yang Tan. How could he testify? Testimonies had no value at all. Yang Tan, Xiaofan, if you don't want to play, go down. Don't frame your classmates. We saw it very clearly. No one hit you. The referee said with a frown. But Yang Tan felt that it was a little unbelievable. How is it possible? Could it be that I was hallucinating? But if I was hallucinating, Xiaofan couldn't be hallucinating too, right? What he didn't know was that besides him and Xiaofan, everyone else in the audience was hallucinating. It couldn't be helped. The game could only continue. No matter how angry Yang Tan was, he could only continue to play gloomily. However, he was also careful now. He tried his best to lead Xiao Chen to the public's attention. He also exaggerated some eye-catching movements to attract everyone's attention. Xiao Chen's team finally knew how powerful Xiao Chen was. They didn't try to be a hero. If they had the ball, they would pass it to Xiao Chen. Although Yang Tan and Xiaofan's defense was tight, Xiao Chen often shot once he passed half-court. It was impossible for them to defend. Finally, the ball fell into Xiaofan's hands. Xiaofan finally had a chance to show off. He had been holding it in for too long. However, he also knew that it was impossible to recover the score. The gap was too big. He could only show off his personal charm to win back some face. This time, he was ready to show off his unique skill, a three-point line slam dunk. Jump from the three-point line, slam dunk. This required a lot of skills and jumping ability. The body must also be coordinated. In short, there were a lot of requirements. However, for a martial artist like Yang Tan, it wasn't too difficult. Xiao Chen could shoot from half-court. It wasn't difficult for him to do a three-point line slam dunk. However, something that Yang Tan didn't expect happened. He held the ball in one hand and was preparing to shoot. The ball in his hand was unstable and it actually rolled out of his hand. Although this kind of mistake had happened in regular games, it was very rare. Now it happened to Yang Tan. He was still working, but the ball fell from his hand. Xiao Chen, who was guarding below, picked it up and turned to run. F***CK. Yang Tan's hand touched the basket and completed the slam dunk. However, he didn't feel any sense of accomplishment at all. How could the ball in his hand leave his hand? There was no wind here, but he felt as if there was an external force pushing the ball out. When he came down, Yang Tan turned his head. Xiao Chen was already gone. Xiaofan couldn't stop him at all. He went around and made a three-point shot. He scored again. Xiao Chen's side had always been 3 points. Not even 2 points. The score gap was obvious. In the blink of an eye, it was 39-0. There was no possibility of a comeback. Yang Tan was disheartened, but his eyes turned. He didn't snatch the ball anymore. He just wanted to vent his anger and planned to cause trouble for Xiaochen. He gave Xiaofan a look and then made a hand gesture to slap him. What he meant was for Xiaofan to slap Xiaochen to death. At most, he would be penalized for a foul. Anyway, his side couldn't win. Even if it was a foul, it didn't matter. Xiaofan nodded to show that he understood. Therefore, Xiaofan waited for the opportunity to make a move. Yang Tan was covering by the side. It was best if he could block the referee's sight. It didn't matter if he couldn't block it. Anyway, he couldn't win. Now, he just didn't want to let Xiaochen have it easy. Two people, one on the left and one on the right, attacked Xiaochen. Previously, Yang Tan had hinted to Xiaochen, so when he saw the two rushing over, he knew that Xiaofan was going to slap him. He couldn't help but sneer, pretend that he didn't know, and continue to prepare for the shot. Suddenly, Yang Tan stretched out his hands to block the referee's sight. Xiaofan immediately understood. He raised his hand and slapped Xiaochen's cheek. Pa! There was a crisp sound. Xiaofan's strength wasn't weak. Although he didn't use his inner force, it was also the limit of his strength. If this slap continued, Xiaochen would definitely become a pig's head. However, what surprised Xiaofan was that he didn't hear Xiaochen's scream as he expected. Instead, it was Yang Tan who screamed. Xiaofan suddenly woke up and saw that his palm was directly printed on Yang Tan's face. The half of Yang Tan's face that wasn't injured was swollen from Xiaofan's slap. On the other side, Xiaochen smoothly shot and scored. The crowd cheered, mixed with mocking laughter. Chapter 4:14. Xiaofan, what the f***ck? Yang Tan was enraged. He widened his eyes and stared at Xiaofan furiously. Are you out of your mind? Why did you hit me? Brother Yang, I didn't do it on purpose. I originally wanted to hit Xiaochen. Who knew that it would suddenly become you? I misjudged you. Xiaofan looked like he was about to cry. He was also a little depressed as he carefully explained. Ha ha ha. The audience burst into laughter. Oh, I know. Xiaofan was the one who hit me just now. He falsely accused brother-in-law Xiaochen. Now he wants to falsely accuse me again. In the end, he didn't hit me clearly and everyone saw through him. Jean Bebe yelled. Suddenly, there was a burst of laughter in the field and among the audience. These two brats are so sneaky. They definitely hit themselves just now. But they are so ruthless. They actually hurt themselves in exchange for the opponent's foul, a student said. Didn't they fake it just now? It's mainly because they are too lousy. Lu Zhenming said. Yang Tan and Xiaofan's expressions were extremely ugly. Yang Tan glared at Xiaofan fiercely. He was too ashamed to stay in the field anymore. He shouted, "Referee, substitute me. I'm injured. I need to rest." After saying that, Yang Tan turned around and left the field, regardless of whether the referee agreed or not. Actually, at this point in the game, although the time was not over yet, everyone knew that the outcome had been decided. There was no point in continuing the game. However, the referee was also a little embarrassed. The exciting game was about to end abruptly. At this time, there was a sudden commotion at the entrance of the stadium. A girl in disheveled clothes ran in a panic and exclaimed, "There's a pervert! There's a pervert! Pervert?" Everyone was stunned. Where was the pervert? However, they saw that the girl's pants were not fastened properly. The belt that was supposed to be fastened was not even fastened properly. She looked a little embarrassed. Where is the pervert? What's going on? A PE teacher quickly walked over and asked. In the toilet. In the outdoor toilet. The girl said while panting. She was obviously still in shock and frightened. Outdoor toilet? The PE teacher was stunned. The outdoor toilet was built on the field next to the stadium. It was an old-fashioned and relatively simple toilet. Usually, it was rarely used except during sports events. Today, the girl was probably here to watch the basketball game. She did not want to go back to the teaching building to use the toilet, so she went to the outdoor toilet. However, when she unbuttoned her pants and squatted, she accidentally glanced at the bottom of the toilet and saw a man with his eyes and mouth wide open, drinking her urine. The girl was immediately scared silly. She screamed, pulled up her pants, and ran. She didn't care whether she had finished peeing or not. She ran back to the school's gymnasium to complain. "Attention boys, follow us to the toilet to catch the pervert." When the PE teacher heard that there were all perverts in the toilet, he immediately said to the male students present, "However, when the time comes, don't do anything. Just surround them. We, the PE teachers, will go and catch them." Firstly, the students didn't know how to fight. It wouldn't be good if they were injured by the bad guys. Secondly, the students didn't know how to hold back. What if a group of people surrounded the pervert and beat him to death? The PE teacher waved his hand and ordered everyone. In addition, the referee also heard the situation, so he said to Xiaofan and the others, "This match, the player on the right side wins. Alright, everyone, go and block the pervert." The 3 PE teachers took a group of students to the school's outdoor toilet. As a result, they saw a man running out of the outdoor toilet, jumping over the wall, and running out of the school. Xiaofan looked at the back of the man and was slightly shocked. "He looks familiar. This seems to be the pervert that I saw in the toilet of Shantytown when I sent Kerlin home that day." At least judging from the figure behind, the two people were similar. It should be the same person. However, Xiaofan didn't try to chase after him. After all, he didn't want to expose himself in the school. He was not White Fox now, so he didn't need to care about other people's business. The 3 PE teachers quickly caught up to the wall and climbed up, but they couldn't see the man anymore. They felt a little regretful and returned to the students, saying, "We will call the police immediately. Here, I hope you can inform each other to stay away from the outdoor toilet for now. After all, there are not many people here, and it's not safe. Our sports group will work with the school security team to send people to patrol around the toilet. Later, we will make a school-wide announcement." The PE teacher who spoke was the leader of the sports group and also the initiator of this basketball activity. The students all nodded. As for the girl, she was taken to the school clinic by her good friend to rest because she was shocked. "Cousin Menjiang, let's go and catch the pervert, shall we?" Jean Bebe thought it was fun, so she suggested. "What? Be careful not to be caught by the pervert. Perverts love girls with big breasts like you the most." Cheng Menjiang glared at her and thought, Jean Bebe has nothing better to do. Why does she want to catch a pervert? "Cousin-in-law, what do you think?" Jean Bebe asked. "Hee, aren't the teachers responsible for catching the pervert? Let's stay out of it." Xiaofan was wondering if the 2 perverts were the same one. It seemed to be the same one. However, this guy was really a pervert. The girl had already told him what had happened. What puzzled Xiaofan was that the pervert not only peeped at her, but also went to the toilet to drink urine. His taste was really strange. The basketball game ended abruptly because of the pervert. Yang Tan and Xia Shibin left in disgrace. They didn't come to see the pervert at all and went back to the classroom first. Since there was nothing else to do here, the PE teacher stayed to patrol the area while the students left for the classroom. Sun Abayo glanced at the top of the wall in the school and found no one was looking for him. Then, he dashed out from the corner. He was wearing a black raincoat, which was stained with feces and urine. Sun Abayo licked his lips with a satisfied expression on his face. He dashed away quickly and got into a shabby minivan. Son Abayo sat cross-legged, with a lustful look in his eyes. Son Abayo was a pervert. When he was young, he had a fight with his friends and was pushed into the toilet's feces pit. It was winter at that time. The feces were frozen into ice, so Son Abayo didn't drown. However, as a child, he couldn't get out of the pit no matter how hard he tried. Later, his friends all went home. No one cared about Son Abayo anymore. He was alone in the toilet, frightened and scared. No one answered his call. He had no choice but to walk back and forth under the toilet. Accidentally, he walked to the female toilet next to it. Looking up from the rectangular hole, a little girl with a ponytail happened to come to the toilet. She took off her pants, and a stream of urine fell from the sky, drenching Son Abayo's face. At first, Son Abayo was anxious and scared. He quickly raised his head and wanted to call for help, but the warm urine poured directly into his mouth, choking him and making him unable to speak. For the first time, his eyes saw a girl who had a completely different physiological structure from him. After the little girl went to the toilet, she left. Son Abayo finally climbed up the feces pit with the help of his grandfather, who was looking for him in the evening. When he got home, Son Abayo wasn't afraid, and he didn't have nightmares at night. Instead, his mind kept circling around the scene of peeing in the toilet. The faint smell of urine made Son Abayo's heart beat fast. He didn't feel disgusted, but he was a little excited. He even missed the feeling from before. After a few days, Son Abayo took a small stool and jumped into the feces pit. He began his life of peeping and drinking urine. All kinds of women made him excited. Day after day, year after year, Son Abayo grew up in the heart of a pervert. On the surface, he looked like an introverted loser, but in his heart, he was actually an incomparably perverted pervert. Finally, one day, he met an old man in the toilet who had the same hobby as him. This old man didn't say his name, he only said that he was called Xiaofan Old Pervert. Thus, the two of them, one old and one young, agreed to go to the toilet together every day to peep and drink urine. Previously, Son Abayo was younger and didn't know what perverted was. He only knew that doing this would bring him excitement. So he called Xiaofan Old Pervert as Xiaofan Old Man. The pronunciation was similar, and he had been mispronouncing it. Later on, when he grew up, he gradually understood that the old pervert was called Xiaofan Old Pervert. And suddenly, one day, Xiaofan Old Pervert told him that he had something to do and had to leave the city. Before he left, he gave him a mental cultivation method that could be cultivated, called Evil Spirit Perverted Heaven Technique. Son Abayo officially became an evil cultivator, and he discovered that women's urine, especially the urine of young girls and virgin girls, could assist his cultivation. Thinking about it, it was no wonder that when he was in the toilet with Xiaofan Old Pervert, whenever there were young girls, that old thing would always go first. Son Abayo's grandfather died, and so did his grandmother. He didn't have parents since he was young, so he became an orphan. His only joy every day was peeping. But with the development of time, these simple outdoor toilets without flushing facilities became fewer and fewer. Only some of the shanty towns and old city areas that had not been renovated existed, and the rest were only found in schools. Son Abayo also found it harder and harder to find this kind of toilet. Even in the villages, there were toilets in their own yards. There were no outdoor toilets at all. This made Son Abayo's cultivation even more difficult. Because of the reduction of toilets, he couldn't just commit crimes in one place. He had to change his location frequently. Chapter 4:15. Because there were relatively few toilets, once he squatted in one place for a long time, he would eventually be discovered. He had to change places. A few days ago, he had just fled to Songning City. As a result, he finally found a shanty town. He was waiting for an opportunity to peep and drink urine. He didn't expect his first prey to be a little beauty. Looking at Kerlin in white, Son Abayo was so excited that he was trembling. According to his many years of observation experience, this girl was still a virgin. The urine of a virgin was a great supplement for his cultivation. However, this little beauty was too cunning. Just as she was about to take off her pants, she saw Sun Abayo under the latrine pit. She shouted in alarm. Then, her boyfriend broke in, and Sun Abayo had to choose to escape. He was very upset. The first time he chose a good place, he failed. In desperation, he didn't dare to come again. He was afraid that the little beauty would report him. He was also afraid that the little beauty would tell the neighbors to squat in the toilet to catch him. After Sun Abayo left, he didn't go back. Instead, he found the nearby Songning Second High School and found an outdoor toilet here. Although there were relatively few people in the outdoor toilet, it was at least a foothold. Sun Abayo first found an escape route and stationed himself in the toilet. For the whole day, nothing happened. Not a single girl came to the toilet. However, in the evening, a boy and a girl came to the toilet to have an affair. He thought that after the couple was done, they could pee or something. He didn't expect that the girl would just pee on the ground. This made him so angry that he wanted to go up and beat the B***tch up. Who asked you to waste? Who asked you to waste? However, he didn't dare to do so. He still wanted to continue to stay here. The next day, the opportunity finally came. However, when Sun Abayo was enjoying himself halfway, he was discovered by the girl. Sun Abayo wanted to vomit blood. Why am I so unlucky? Last time, I didn't succeed, so I had to change places. This time, I only succeeded halfway, but I had to escape again. Originally, he was hoping to get lucky and see if the girl went to snitch. As a result, he heard a group of male and female students shouting not far away, and the shouting of the PE teacher. He was so scared that he ran away quickly. Sun Abayo refined the urine in his mouth. He recalled the scene he had seen at that time over and over again. The strength in his body was increasing step by step. He was very grateful to the West Mountain Old Lecher for turning him into an evil cultivator and allowing him to possess extraordinary skills. After cultivating, Sun Abayo took off his raincoat and got into the driver's seat. He started the car and headed to a construction site. He found a construction site and worked there as a temporary worker. Because he was a heretic cultivator and had extraordinary strength, the foreman at the construction site admired him. This was also Sun Abayo's livelihood. Every time he went to a city, he would find a construction site to work. He was an all-rounder. Not only did he know how to carry bricks, but he also dared to work high up in the sky. He dared to go high up in the sky where others did not dare to go. Old cranes and excavators were a piece of cake. In this world, there were many evil cultivators. They were all hidden in the crowd. They looked like ordinary people on the outside, but they were secretly doing some evil things. However, it was precisely because of this group of people that the reputation of evil cultivators was ruined. They were similar to evil cultivators, but they were not evil cultivators. They were looked down upon by the martial cultivators of the righteous sections. However, martial cultivators were not as powerful as them. To get rid of them, one still had to rely on evil cultivators. However, because Sun Abayo had always been careful, he did not dare to hurt people even though he had strength. Therefore, he had never been listed as a wanted criminal by the warrior guild. When Xiaofan returned to class, he saw that Yang Tan was not sitting in his seat for the first time. Instead, he was sitting in his own seat with his head lowered. His face was filled with defeat. Xiaofan walked over and said, "Yang Tan, it's time for you to fulfill your bet, right?" Yang Tan's expression changed again and again. In the end, he said, "I've already told Xiaoens to leave, but he won't listen to me. I can't do anything about it. After all, we are not in the same organization." He. Xiaofan laughed. "I knew you would say that. One look and I can tell that you are not a man who can keep his word. If that's the case, don't bet in the future. Your words are like farts. You. Yang Tan wanted to refute, but he could not find any reason to. He could only snort coldly and said, Xiao Chen, you better think about the consequences of going against me. Don't think that I can't do anything about you now that you have left the Xiao family. At the end of the day, you are still a member of the Xiao family. When the time comes, the Xiao family, do as you see fit. Whatever. The Xiao family has nothing to do with me. I was kicked out. If they cared about me, I would have returned a long time ago, Xiao Chen said faintly. You. Yang Tan found that his threat seemed to have failed. After thinking about it, it seemed that it was indeed the case. Xiao Chen was kicked out of the Xiao family, and he did not leave by himself. It was impossible to say that he did not hate the Xiao family. If he dealt with the Xiao family, wouldn't it be equivalent to helping Xiao Chen? Alright, Yang Tan, everyone knows what's going on with you. Don't think too highly of yourself. Xiao Chen said, if you have the ability, let Song Huawu sit with you. If you don't have the ability, then don't talk nonsense with me. Don't participate in the basketball game. Your skills are too bad, and your diving is too obvious. Letting you play is a disgrace. Xiao Chen, just you wait. One day, I will make you regret it. Yang Tan clenched his hands and stared fiercely at Xiao Chen. Of course, he was only threatening him verbally. So far, he had not found a good way to deal with Xiao Chen. This guy was impenetrable. He could not threaten him or beat him. He was completely a troublemaker. There was no other way. Xiao Chen ignored him and directly ignored him. This made Yang Tan even angrier. He turned his hand back and slapped Xia Shibin's face, damn, you idiot. Brother Yang, you can't blame me. You were so close to me just now. I accidentally hit the wrong person. Besides, didn't you hit yourself before? Xia Shibin said weakly. Bullsh *T, when did I hit myself? Yang Tan said angrily. Brother Yang, didn't you hit the other side of your face? Xia Shibin hesitated and said. Damn, I already said that it was Xiao Chen who hit me. Yang Tan was stunned and shouted angrily. Oh, it was Xiao Chen. Xia Shibin quickly echoed. When Yang Tan saw Xia Shibin's look, he knew that Xia Shibin didn't believe him. He was very depressed. This Xiao Chen's luck is really good. He hit me, and so many people didn't see it. It seems that this kid's basketball skills are not simple. At first glance, I can see that he is a veteran on the court. His small movements are also very skillful. He must have found a visual blind spot, so he was able to deceive everyone. It must be like this. Otherwise, Yang Tan really couldn't find any reason to let Xiao Chen succeed in front of everyone. It can't be that Xiao Chen is so powerful that even the physical education teacher spoke for him, right? This is completely unrealistic. When he saw that no one passed the ball to Xiao Chen, he knew that Xiao Chen's deterrence in the school wasn't big, so it couldn't be that everyone cheated for him. There was only one possibility, which was that Xiao Chen was particularly good at small movements. Xia Shibin, you continue to investigate Xiao Chen for me. See if he has any weaknesses. I must take this person down. I heard that his relationship with the Chen family isn't good. If I can't take care of him, I will lose face. Yang Tan said fiercely. Don't worry, Brother Yang. I have already investigated this kid. Everyone has a weakness. I am very good at this. This kid can't escape from my palm. Xia Shibin said. Yang Tan nodded with satisfaction and said, be careful. Don't let him hold anything against you. These people in the secular world are particularly cunning. Brother Yang, this time it definitely won't happen. I was too careless last time. I thought that he didn't dare to challenge our Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Xia Shibin said quickly. Last time, he was recorded by Lu Zhenming. It was a great shame. Xiaochen returned to his seat, and Song Huawu also came back. When she saw Xiaochen, she said, "I didn't see it. Xiaochen, you are quite good at football. Even I didn't see what was going on with that small movement. Is it the method of you demonic cultivators to confuse the mind? But, why were the people present deceived by you? Isn't it only the person involved who can be tricked? Yeah, I confused Xia Shibin to beat Yang Tan, so you saw it too." Xiaochen said with a smile. "Oh, before that, Yang Tan was beaten." Song Huawu was a little curious. He was also confused. He thought that he was beating me, but in fact, he was secretly beating himself, said Xiaochen. Oh. Song Huawu didn't pay attention to Yang Tan before, so she believed what Xiaochen said. "You have offended him again. He doesn't doubt you now, but if this goes on, he is not a fool. He will definitely doubt your strength. When your identity is exposed, I believe that with Yang Tan's character, he will never let you go. You're on your own. Don't try to be a hero again and put yourself in danger." I know what I'm doing." Xiaochen said, "Today, I haven't shown any strength that is higher than normal people. Yang Tan is also prejudiced. He shouldn't doubt me. Anyway, you have to be careful. Also, Xia Shibin is best at secret investigations. When you use your own identity to switch with White Fox's identity, you'd better be careful. Song Huawu reminded, he has already noticed you now. I'm afraid that he will discover your secret." Xiaochen's heart trembled slightly. He suddenly remembered that night when he came out of Ke Lin's house and was photographed. Could it be that Xia Shibin did it? But at that time, I didn't offend Xia Shibin and Yang Tan too much. Since then, has he begun to secretly investigate me? Chapter 4:16. Fortunately, he did it secretly. After leaving the hotel, he returned to his original appearance and did not show up as Yang Tan. Otherwise, if Xia Shibin saw it, he would be in big trouble. "Why are there so many scum in your department?" Xiaochen was a little annoyed after hearing that. Yang Tan was so annoying that he had seriously interfered with his normal life. "Not that many. It's just him." Song Huawu said, "Look, I'm quite normal." "That's true." Xiaochen nodded. He was driven out of the Chen family when he was young and abandoned by Chen Huanling. His mind is a little twisted. He is not a normal person, so you don't have to look at him normally. Song Huawu said. "Oh." Xiaochen nodded and did not say anything more. Now, there were more and more strange enemies. Sometimes, he would be hated by these people just because of a strange reason. Xiaochen was really helpless. He thought that he could investigate the mastermind behind the scenes at No. 2 middle school with peace of mind. But now, the mastermind behind the scenes did not show up. Instead, more and more clowns appeared. Of course, in the eyes of Xiaochen, these clowns were existences that he could only look up to in the past. But now, it was not a big deal. When school was about to end, Xiaochen went to the school parking lot first and waited for Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei. Soon, they came out and got in Xiaochen's car. "Cousin-in-law, your basketball performance today was very cool." Cousin Menjing's eyes were full of stars, Jean Beibei said after getting in the car. "Really?" Xiaochen smiled. Naturally, he would not believe Jean Beibei's words. "What stars?" "He has always been good at basketball, even when he was in No. 1 middle school." "I don't want to see him." Cheng Menjing snorted. "Oh? How do you know if she doesn't see him?" Jean Beibei looked at Cheng Menjing with some doubts. I heard it from Jing Xian." Cheng Menjing said. "Oh? Sister Jing Xian had been paying attention to my cousin-in-law since then?" Jean Beibei was slightly stunned. Xiaochen glanced at Jean Bebe and said nothing. He speculated that Jean Bebe seemed to know something, but the eldest lady was still in the dark. However, there were some things that he could not say out loud. Therefore, he could only snort. Other girls pay a lot of attention to me, my fiancé. Your cousin-in-law is the prince of basketball in number 1 middle school after all. Your skin is so thick that it can be taken off, right? Cheng Menjing glared at Xiaochen, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Xiaochen said, "Was it possible to take it off?" But he didn't say anything. They arrived at the Cheng family. Xiaochen didn't expect that he could come to the Cheng family again in such a short time. This time, nobody stopped him. After parking the car, he got off the car with Cheng Menjing and Jean Bebe. However, at this moment, the notification of his mobile phone rang. He picked it up and deliberately lagged behind. After glancing at the screen of the mobile phone, he was slightly shocked. Right at this moment, a Mercedes-Benz SLR sports car rushed over and stopped right in front of Xiaochen's Land Rover. After parking the car, the man directly turned off the engine without moving. It was obvious that he wanted to trap Xiaochen's car inside. The man who got off the car was Xiaoen's. He looked at Xiaochen provocatively, raised his middle finger, and scolded, "Idiot! You want me to leave Songning? Who do you think you are?" Obviously, Xiaoen's had contacted Yang Tan and promised him to humiliate Xiaochen at the family gathering in the evening. "Move the car." Xiaochen glanced at Xiaoen's and said lightly. Xiaoen's glanced at Xiaochen, turned around, and walked to Cheng Menjing. "Menjing, you're back. I wanted to visit Grandpa Cheng and Uncle Cheng tonight. I didn't expect you to come back." "That's great." Cheng Menjing frowned slightly. She didn't invite Xiaoen's. This man came uninvited. It was impossible for him not to know that she would come home at night. She just didn't know where he got the news. It turns out to be Senior Xiao. Cheng Menjing didn't hate Xiaoen so much. However, when she saw him block Xiaochen's car in the parking space, she suddenly felt that he was narrow-minded. "Xiaoen's, if you don't move the car, you'll be responsible for the consequences." Xiaochen said, "I'm going to pick up someone. If you have a move, you'll die if you don't." Xiaoen said disdainfully. He did not believe that Xiaochen could do anything to his car. Xiaochen was not a martial artist. Even if it was a sports car, he would not be able to move it. He did it on purpose. Moreover, he did not intend to leave so easily. Even if it was at night, he planned to disturb the Cheng family and suffocate him to death. "Xiaoen's, my cousin-in-law is a transformer. You'd better move the car. Otherwise, the consequences might be serious." Jean Bebe looked at Xiaoen's and said, "Is it serious?" "Whatever," Zheng En said indifferently. Xiaochen got in the car and started it. The chassis of the Land Rover was high. After Xiaochen started the car, he slammed on the accelerator and used the Imperial Object Primordial Energy to lift the front wheel of the car. As a result, Xiaochen's car directly drove over Zheng En's sports car. In an instant, Xiaoen's Mercedes-Benz SLR was deformed by Xiaochen's car. Xiaoen's was a little dumbfounded. What was going on? He had thought about it before. Xiaochen's car was also a luxury car. Even if it wasn't as valuable as his car, this model of Land Rover would cost more than 3 million. Most importantly, in his opinion, Xiaochen was a good-for-nothing young master who had been driven out by the Xiao family. It was impossible for him to afford this car. Therefore, the car must belong to Cheng Menjing. Therefore, Xiaochen definitely didn't dare to crash his car. In that case, he would also suffer losses. Moreover, if the car was damaged, how could Cheng Menjing agree to it? However, who would have thought that Xiaochen was so fierce? However, nothing happened to his car. He rode over directly, and his car was deformed by the weight, look, if you don't listen to Beibei, you'll suffer. Jean Beibei said to Xiao En's. F***ck. Xiao En's was furious. He directly stood in front of Xiao Chen's car. As a result, Xiao Chen stepped on the accelerator. With a bang, Xiao En's tumbled and then swaggered away. This Xiao En's was a martial artist at the peak of the 8th stage of inner strength. He couldn't be killed by the collision at all. However, Xiao En's was a little embarrassed. He got up from the ground and glared at Xiao Chen with some resentment in his eyes. He snorted and said, "Menjing, you were right to break off the engagement with this rude barbarian. This person is completely unreasonable. Your way of doing things is also inappropriate." Cheng Menjing glanced at Xiao En's and said, "No matter what, Xiao Chen is my servant. Why did you block his car in front of him? Are you trying to show off to me?" This, of course not. With Xiao En's current identity and status, there was no need for him to bow and scrape to Cheng Menjing. However, first love was always unforgettable. He didn't want to get Cheng Menjing by that kind of high-handed means. He hoped that Cheng Menjing could fall in love with him naturally. Otherwise, with his current identity and status, which woman from ordinary aristocratic families couldn't he handle? However, this wasn't the feeling he wanted. In that case, let's forget about this matter. I don't want you to play these little tricks in the future, Cheng Menjing said. Okay, I got it. Xiao En's originally wanted to find a chance to teach Xiao Chen a lesson. However, Cheng Menjing's words were already very obvious. One should look at the master before beating a dog. If he attacked Xiao Chen, it would be a provocation to Cheng Menjing. So, Xiao En's could only give up. He was pinned down by the car and knocked down for nothing. Then let's go in together. Cheng Menjing said. Okay, okay. Xiao En's nodded quickly. However, Cheng Menjing was a little puzzled. Where did Xiao Chen go? Why did he suddenly drive away? Was it because he was impulsive? When he saw that the car was blocked by Xiao En's, he ran over to vent his anger? Then, where did he go now? It seems that he drove out of the direction of the Cheng family. However, Xiao En's was on the side, so it wasn't appropriate for her to ask. She could only walk into the Cheng family's gate first. Xiao Chen drove out of the Cheng family and quickly dialed Yu Xiaochuan's phone number. The message just now was sent by Yu Xiaochuan. There was only one sentence: Zhu Yingxiong is in trouble. Requesting White Fox's help. The content of this message was a little vague. Logically, White Fox shouldn't know Zhu Yingxiong. At least, he didn't have any contact with him on the surface. However, why would Yu Xiaochuan tell me that he was in trouble? Although he sent the message with the tone of asking for help, there was no need to specifically indicate that Zhu Yingxiong was in trouble. As long as he said that his brother-in-law was in trouble, wouldn't it be more intuitive? It was easier for White Fox to understand than him saying that Zhu Yingxiong was in trouble. After all, White Fox might not know Zhu Yingxiong. Since his good buddy was in trouble, Xiao Chen was naturally anxious. However, he couldn't use the identity of White Fox to make a call in front of Xiao En's and Cheng Menjing. Therefore, in a hurry, he could only run over Xiao En's car and hit him. Under normal circumstances, Xiao Chen wouldn't be so irrational. This was equivalent to becoming enemies with Xiao En's. However, since his buddy was in trouble, he couldn't care so much. Yu Xiaochuan, what's the matter? Xiao Chen asked directly after he answered the phone. White Fox hero, Zhu Yingxiong was beaten by someone. He's on the verge of death now. Medicine Master Sun has seen him, but there's nothing he can do. He can only use pills to keep him alive. You're experienced and knowledgeable, can you help? Otherwise, my sister will become a widow. Although Yu Xiaochuan's personality had changed, his familial love wouldn't change. He still loved his sister very much and couldn't bear to see her sad. Where are you? I'll go over now. Xiao Chen said immediately without hesitation. I'm still in my new villa. I've already talked to the guards. White Fox Hero, you can just drive over directly. Yu Xiaochuan said hurriedly. Alright, wait for me. Xiao Chen accelerated the car and sped towards the Yu clan's mansion. Chapter 4:17. After rushing all the way, Xiao Chen's car finally entered the Yu's house and stopped in front of Yu Xiaochuan's new house, or rather, in front of his and Tang Tang's new house. Xiao Chen got out of the car and entered the villa with the appearance of White Fox. Yu Xiaochuan had been waiting at the door of the villa for a long time. When he saw Xiao Chen, he immediately greeted him, White Fox Hero, you're here. Come and take a look at Zhu Yingxiong. He's dying. Xiao Chen frowned and made a gesture to lead the way. He couldn't help but speed up his pace. When they came to a guest room in the villa, there were already several people standing there, including Tang Tang, Yu Shanshan, and a middle-aged man. He was Yu Shanshan and Yu Xiaochuan's father. However, when Xiao Chen came, Yu Xiaochuan's father greeted him and left. He also knew that he was not familiar with White Fox Hero, so standing here was an eyesore. There were only a few people left in the room who could be regarded as his own people. Xiao Chen walked over and looked at Zhu Yingxiong on the bed. Zhu Yingxiong's body had been cleaned. Although there were no visible injuries on his face, his breath was very weak, which was a sign that he was terminally ill. Xiao Chen walked over. Zhu Yingxiong did not go over because he was holding his breath. At this moment, he opened his eyes with difficulty and glanced at the white fox in front of him. But his brain was not working at the moment, so he subconsciously called out, "Boss. Boss, you're here?" Xiao Chen's face changed slightly, but at this time, he would not blame Zhu Yingxiong. He just coughed lightly and said, "How do you feel?" As he spoke, he began to check the injuries on Zhu Yingxiong's body. After a check, Xiao Chen was immediately shocked. Zhu Yingxiong's chest was completely flattened. After all, Zhu Yingxiong was a warrior at the second stage of inner strength. The person who could beat him like this must be a warrior, and his strength was definitely not low. However, who did Zhu Yingxiong offend? Ouyang Tang, who stole his fiancée last time, had already been beaten into a cripple. He shouldn't have the chance to cause trouble for him, right? However, Xiao Chen didn't ask much. He began to use the mantra to heal Zhu Yingxiong. With the experience of healing Shen Jingmao and the middle-aged woman, the process was very smooth this time. The people in the room did not say a word as they stared unblinkingly at the white fox and Zhu Yingxiong. However, what surprised them was that Zhu Yingxiong's face gradually turned from pale to rosy. His injuries seemed to be improving bit by bit. This scene immediately shocked everyone, including Tang Tang. In fact, although Xiao Chen vowed that he was a white fox, Tang Tang still felt a little incredulous. Now, she saw him healing Zhu Yingxiong with her own eyes. It seemed that Xiao Chen's strength had reached a very terrifying level. As for whether the person in front of her was Xiao Chen, she believed that Zhu Yingxiong knew better than her. Otherwise, Zhu Yingxiong wouldn't directly call him boss. Thinking of this, Tang Tang's heart that was hanging in suspense finally relaxed. Xiao Chen was really beyond her expectations. He's fine. He just needs to rest for a while and take some restorative potions. Xiao Chen said, "Now, who can tell me what is going on?" White Fox Hero. Yu Xiaochuan hesitated. He glanced at Tang Tang and said, "Since things have come to this point, you don't have to wear this mask. Everyone actually knows what is going on. In this room, everyone is on the same side." "It's fine." Xiao Chen frowned slightly and looked at Yu Xiaochuan with some surprise. Yu Xiaochuan's words were already very obvious. Does he know that I am Xiao Chen? It seems that I am afraid so. However, Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. He didn't believe that Yu Xiaochuan came to this conclusion just based on Zhu Yingxiong's boss, because it was unrealistic. To the public, he was Xiao Chen's boss, and Xiao Chen was Zhu Yingxiong's boss. So, there was no problem for Zhu Yingxiong to call him boss directly, not to mention that he called him Big Boss. Therefore, Xiao Chen didn't reply directly, but said, "You Xiaochuan, what do you mean by this? Why? Do you want to see my true face? Yesterday, in this room, there was a surveillance video. I saw it all. You Xiaochuan told the truth." Xiao Chen took a deep breath and nodded. His tone suddenly became cold. "So, you know it all? What do you want?" "Ugh. Master White Fox, you misunderstood. I killed the disciple in the monitoring room, and the video hard disk was destroyed. No one knows this secret." Yu Xiaochuan said quickly, "I definitely won't harm you." "What about your sister?" asked Xiao Chen. He was a little puzzled. "Why wouldn't you Xiaochuan harm me? I feel that this guy should hate Xiao Chen a lot, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Shanshan is my sister, and she is already Zhu Yingxiong's woman, so you don't have to worry about her," Yu Xiaochuan said. "As for Tang Tang and Zhu Yingxiong, they already know, right?" Xiao Chen didn't deny it. Since things had come to this, there was no need to hide it anymore. Xiao Chen casually took off his mask and revealed his original face. This gave Yu Shanshan a fright and she was dumbstruck. She didn't expect that the Master White Fox, who was sought after and admired by everyone, was actually the trash of the Xiao family, Xiao Chen. This person can't cultivate internal force? But looking at him at the Righteous and Devil Summit, it wasn't that he couldn't cultivate internal force, but he was too good at it. "Shanshan, don't go out and talk nonsense," Yu Xiaochuan said. "We are all on the same side. You know the stakes." I understand." Although Yu Shanshan was shocked, she nodded quickly. At least from Zhu Yingxiong's side, she wouldn't go out and talk nonsense. Now that even her brother said so, she wouldn't go out and talk nonsense. "Also, Tang Tang is actually your brother White Fox's woman, but there is nothing wrong with you calling her sister-in-law. Your brother White Fox is the boss of Zhu Yingxiong." Yu Xiaochuan said, "As for your brother, there is a problem with my cultivation method. I can't touch women." "Oh." Yu Shanshan nodded as if she understood. She was a little confused, but it didn't matter if she couldn't figure it out, as long as it was kept secret. During the conversation, Zhu Yingxiong actually sat up. "Boss, you are so awesome. I feel like I'm fine now. You lie down quickly." "Yu Shanshan, you let him lie down and talk." Xiao Chen told Yu Shanshan. "Okay, brother White Fox." Yu Shanshan nodded. From the perspective of Zhu Yingxiong, she also had to respect Xiao Chen. "Yu Xiaochuan, didn't you hate me before?" Xiao Chen looked at Yu Xiaochuan strangely. "Hero White Fox, come with me," Yu Xiaochuan said as he reached out to hug Xiao Chen and pulled him to the door. He lowered his voice and said, "I am not interested in women now. I can't expose the fact that I am practicing the Chrysanthemum treasure book. Now you and Tang Tang can help me hide it. Moreover, I also admire you very much. Now that you are Xiao Chen, that's even better. Tang Tang doesn't reject it anymore. I am even happier." Xiao Chen felt strange being hugged by Yu Xiaochuan. He nodded and said, "So that's how it is. In that case, feel free to speak up if you have anything to say in the future. Since we are all open with each other, there is nothing to hide." "Okay, thank you." Yu Xiaochuan nodded quickly. Back in the room, Zhu Yingxiong also slowly talked about what happened tonight. It turned out that today, Zhu Yingxiong was invited by the Yu family to have dinner. Yu Xiaochuan's marriage was settled, and the next step was Yu Shanshan's turn. The Zhu family was actually a little anxious. According to the rules of aristocratic families, because the age of marriage was not enough, but the engagement was considered to be an official couple. They wanted Zhu Yingxiong to carry on the family line as soon as possible because the Zhu family did not have many people. Therefore, this matter was put on the agenda. Zhu Yingxiong came as a prospective son-in-law. Everything was fine at first. The kitchen was preparing the meal, and Yu Xiaochuan, Tang Tang, Zhu Yingxiong, Yu Shanshan, and several elders of the Yu family were talking in the reception hall. Finally, a disciple came to report that the Ouyang family of the provincial capital had come to visit. Although there were guests, the Ouyang family of the provincial capital was a real martial arts family. The Yu family could not receive them. Therefore, they could only let the Ouyang family come to the reception hall, and let Yu Xiaochuan and the other juniors go to the side hall to rest first. The person from the Ouyang family was called Ouyang Liang, Ouyang Tang's brother. After entering the door, he did not greet them politely, but directly put forward the request of the Ouyang family. That was, he represented the Ouyang family of the provincial capital to formally propose to the Yu family. The object of the proposal was naturally his younger brother, Ouyang Tang, and Yu Shanshan. The sudden arrival of Ouyang Liang suddenly caught the Yu family off guard. Yu Shanshan's father suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Although the Ouyang family was a real martial arts family of the provincial capital, it was stronger than the Zhu family. There would definitely be a lot of benefits from the marriage, but the problem now was that Yu Shanshan and Zhu Yingxiong had already reached the point where they were talking about marriage. How could they break off the engagement? The Yu family had already done something similar once, but there was a reason for it. It was because Tang Tang had a strange disease that they broke off the engagement. But now, there was nothing wrong with Zhu Yingxiong. If they broke off the engagement, not to mention Yu Shanshan, even the Zhu family would not let it go, right? Therefore, the Yu family politely refused. But this way, Ouyang Liang immediately became angry. He roared and brought up the previous example of Tang Tang, meaning that there were many times when the Yu family went back on their word. There was no other way. Although Ouyang Liang's words were very unpleasant, the Yu family could only patiently explain that Tang Tang had a strange disease, and the Tang family also agreed, but Zhu Yingxiong was fine and got along well with Yu Shanshan. In the end, it was this one sentence that had caused a huge disaster. Ouyang Liang directly sneered and said, "Wasn't Zhu Yingxiong fine? That was very good. In that case, let him be directly in trouble. If he had a problem, they could naturally break off the engagement with the Zhu family." Chapter 418. Without a doubt, this Ouyang Liang was a stage 6 inner strength warrior. To a normal family's disciple, he was a powerful existence. With a wave of his hand, Zhu Yingxiong was severely injured. However, the Yu clan did not dare to force him to stay. After all, he was a member of the real martial arts clan. Although he was a branch family, he was still stronger than the Yu clan, who had broken away from the main family. Moreover, the one who was injured was Zhu Yingxiong, not a member of the Yu clan. In essence, Yu Shanshan and Zhu Yingxiong were not engaged yet, so the Yu clan had no reason to stand up for them. Ouyang Liang seemed to have guessed that this would happen. He laughed coldly and said, "Yu clan, I hope that you will put yourself in the right position. It is Yu Shanshan's fortune that my brother has taken a liking to her. Don't miss the chance to marry into the Ouyang real martial arts clan just because you want to marry into the Zhu family. This time, it is just a warning. Next time, it will not be so easy. I will give you one night to think about it. I will come again tomorrow morning." After saying that, Ouyang Liang turned around and left, leaving behind the shocked Yu clan. Although the Yu clan had people who could force Ouyang Liang to stay, they did not dare to do so. Wouldn't it be a declaration of war between the Yu clan and the Ouyang clan? How could the Yu clan be a match for them? No matter how one looked at it, the Yu clan would not do such a stupid thing. After listening to what had happened, Xiaochen did not blame the Yu clan. There was nothing much to say about this. Every clan's elders would consider the clan's benefits, and not their personal gains and losses. Only when a clan was prosperous and undeclining, would everyone in the clan be able to obtain corresponding benefits. Just like when Xiao Chen was chased out of the Xiao family, he had no other choice. There was no other way. He had to sacrifice himself for the greater good. Therefore, although the Yu clan's actions were ruthless, it was understandable. I will wait for him to come tomorrow. Xiao Chen said directly. That's great. Yu Xiaochuan nodded. With Hero White Fox's help, there will be no problem with Shanshan and Hero. However, Xiao Chen couldn't go to the Cheng family anymore, but it was also good that he didn't go. After he went there, if Cheng Mengxiang and Chao Yuliang were on guard in front of him, it would not be easy to expose himself. At the thought of this, Xiao Chen called Jean Beibei and did not hide it from the people present. Cousin-in-law. Jean Beibei ran to the side and picked up the phone secretly. Beibei, I have something to do here. Zhu Yingxiong has been injured by someone. I can't leave, Xiao Chen said. Oh, okay. I'll talk to cousin Menjing. Jean Beibei nodded. You can stay there tonight. Since tomorrow is the weekend, I will pick you up during the day, Xiao Chen said.
Okay, got it, Jean Beibei answered and secretly went to tell Cheng Menjing. When Cheng Menjing heard that Xiao Chen left because Zhu Yingxiong was injured, she was not angry. She just snorted and muttered, this guy. He crushed someone's car, and I have to clean it for him every time. Otherwise, how could Xiao Ens let him go so easily? Clean his butt? Jean Beibei asked. Why are you asking when you already know? Cheng Menjing kicked Jean Beibei. As they were talking, Xiao Ens went to visit the elders of the Cheng family. At this time, Chao Yuliang happened to come in. He saw Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei in the banquet hall, so he quickly ran over. Menjing, Beibei, you are here. Chao Yuliang greeted them warmly. Isn't what you're saying nonsense? This is cousin Menjing's home. If we are not here, are you? Jean Beibei squinted at Chao Yuliang. Chao Yuliang, I don't need you here. You can go ahead with your business. I have something private to talk to Jean Beibei about. Cheng Menjing wanted to send Chao Yuliang away and see what he was going to do next. Otherwise, she could not tell whether he was up to something bad if he kept pestering her. Ah. I see. All right then. Since Cheng Menjing had said so, Chao Yuliang did not say anything else. After all, the two girls were talking about something private, and it was not appropriate for him to stay here. Therefore, he nodded and said, okay. I'll visit Grandpa Cheng and Uncle Cheng first. Okay, Cheng Menjing replied. After Chao Yuliang left, Jean Beibei looked at Cheng Menjing in confusion and asked, Cousin Menjing, what do you want to talk to me about? Or do you want to send Xiao Liangzi away? Both. Cheng Menjing said, you want to be Detective Bei 007, don't you? Huh? Jean Beibei was dazed. Why? You help me follow Chao Yuliang and see who he is in contact with and what he does and says. But don't let him find out. Can you accomplish the task? Cheng Menjing said. Yes, it's too easy. Watch me. Jean Beibei immediately patted her chest and said eagerly. Her chest was shivering, which made Cheng Menjing a little envious. Go ahead. After saying that, Cheng Menjing turned around and pretended to be tired. She went to a corner of the dining room and sat down to take a rest. Chao Yuliang left the dining room calmly. He turned around and looked around. After making sure that nobody was around, he took out his phone and dialed a number, saying, Young Master Cheng, it's me. I'm in the Cheng family's mansion now. I have nothing to do now. Can I go and find you? Okay, got it. Jean Beibei was hiding behind a dustbin at the moment. She heard Chao Yuliang's words clearly. Young Master Cheng. Is it Cheng Mengxiang? Why is Chao Yuliang going to find Cheng Mengxiang? Chao Yuliang did not leave immediately. Instead, he stood where he was and played with his phone, which made Jean Beibei a little confused. Did his, "Okay, got it," mean that he was going or not?
However, after a while, Zhao Yuliang strode towards an independent villa in the Cheng family's mansion. Cheng Mengqiang received a call from Zhao Yuliang. In fact, he was with Xiao Xiao at the moment. Although he trusted Xiao Xiao very much now, Xiao Xiao had not become his woman yet, which made Cheng Mengqiang somewhat defensive. He could not tell her everything, especially when it was related to Xiao Chen. At least, although Xiao Xiao seemed to like him now, she should be very sensitive when it came to the survival of the Xiao family. Therefore, Cheng Mengqiang asked Xiao Xiao to go upstairs to watch a movie while he waited for Zhao Yuliang in the living room downstairs. Very soon, Zhao Yuliang came to the door of Cheng Mengqiang's villa. However, he did not ring the doorbell. Instead, he directly opened the door and walked in. Obviously, Cheng Mengqiang had left the door open for him. Jean Bebe watched Zhao Yuliang enter the single-family villa. She had no choice. She definitely could not follow him in. If she did, she would definitely be discovered. Therefore, she immediately called Cheng Menjing. "Bebe, how is it going?" Although Cheng Menjing seemed to be resting, she had been thinking about this matter. Jean Bebe should not be in danger. This was the mansion of the Cheng family. Even if Zhao Yuliang discovered that he was being followed, he could not do anything to Jean Bebe. However, the main problem was that once Jean Bebe was discovered by Zhao Yuliang, he would definitely be alarmed. It would be difficult for Zhao Yuliang to catch Jean Bebe after he alerted the enemy. In that case, Xiao Chen's plan would be ruined. "Cousin Menjing, I saw that Zhao Yuliang called a man named Young Master Cheng very respectfully." After that, he went to Cheng Mengqiang's villa. Jean Bebe reported truthfully. This was Cheng Mengqiang's villa. She also knew that she and Cheng Menjing had been close since they were kids. She was as familiar with the Cheng family as she was with her own home. Oh. He went there. Cheng Menjing's heart suddenly tightened. As she expected, something was wrong. It seemed that Xiao Chen's speculation was correct. Cheng Mengqiang and Zhao Yuliang were in different age groups. It was impossible for them to be so close. Also, it was even more impossible for Zhao Yuliang to be Cheng Mengqiang's lackey. After all, he was older than Cheng Mengqiang. Unless, there was some unknown reason that caused it to become like this. Zhao Yuliang was very respectful to Cheng Mengqiang. What did it mean? Why did Zhao Yuliang do that? However, it was not important anymore. What mattered was that Cheng Mengqiang was probably the person who dealt with Xiao Chen behind the scenes. Thinking of that, Cheng Menjing immediately felt that her back was soaked in cold sweat. Was he targeting the Xiao family? But how was that possible? Was Uncle Zhao's disappearance related to him, too? Then, was the disappearance of her youngest uncle Cheng Zhongxian related to Cheng Mengqiang, too? Cheng Menjing was not stupid. As for Cheng Mengqiang's motive, she quickly guessed it. Cheng Zhongxian was the future heir of the Cheng family. However, Cheng Zhongxian was only about 10 years older than Cheng Mengqiang. In this way, if Cheng Zhongxian were to ascend to the position of young master of the Cheng clan, Cheng Mengqiang would have no chance at all. He would lose the position of young master, because the day Cheng Zhongxian grew old, he would also grow old. With a gap of 10 years, it was impossible for him to be entrusted with such a heavy responsibility. As for why he didn't deal with her father, the current young patriarch, the reason wasn't hard to understand. She was a woman and would eventually marry, so it was impossible for her father to pass down the position of patriarch. Furthermore, her father's aptitude was mediocre, and this was publicly acknowledged by the family. In fact, everyone understood that Cheng Zhongming's position as young patriarch was merely a passing phase. Once Cheng Zhongxian grew up, the position would be handed over. If her guess was right, then Cheng Mengqiang was a terrifying person. He had such a good plan. But why did he make Uncle Xiao disappear? And why did he target Xiaochen? Why was that? Was it really because he wanted to take over the Xiao family? If he married Xiao Xiao and killed Xiaochen, then the Xiao family would definitely be in his pocket. But what did he want the Xiao family to do? Although he could gain some benefits by doing so, it would not be much. This was because the Xiao family did not have much financial resources. Even if they managed to obtain it, they would at most gain the title of an aristocratic family. At most, the Qing family would promote a trusted family member to take over the position of the Xiao family. Chapter 419. If the Qing family was not the leader of the Songning family, it would be reasonable for him to do so. However, given the current status of the Qing family, they did not need to do this at all. The Qing family did not need to ally with other families. Therefore, Qing Menjing felt that Qing Mengqiang's action was superfluous and she could not see through it. "Bebe, come back. Let's talk after you come back." Qing Menjing knew that she could not let Jean Bebe follow them anymore because she could not get in. "Oh, okay." Jean Bebe replied and turned around to leave. After entering the villa, Chao Yuliang quickly closed the door. As soon as he raised his head, he saw Qing Mengqiang sitting on the sofa waiting for him. He hurried to flatter Qing Mengqiang and said, "Young Master Qing, sorry to keep you waiting." Qing Mengqiang waved his hand and gestured for Chao Yuliang to sit down. Then, he said, "Chao Yuliang, I heard that Xiaochen is here today, right?" "Yes, he is here." Chao Yuliang said, "Besides, I also got a piece of important news about Xiaochen." "Oh? What news?" Qing Mengqiang's interest was piqued. He craned his neck. Xiaochen recognized Hero White Fox as his boss. Chao Yuliang said in a shocking way. "Oh?" Qing Mengqiang frowned immediately. Xiaochen did not have any backing in the past. It was not easy to kill him. Now that he had White Fox as his backer, wouldn't it be more difficult to kill him? Thinking of the strict orders his father gave him, and what he thought would be an easy task, it turned out to be so complicated. Why was it so difficult to kill Xiaochen? He had thought that as long as he used Chao Yuliang, Xiaochen would be killed easily. He even wanted to create an accident at the beginning because he did not want others to suspect anything. If Chao Yuliang was exposed, Qing Mengqiang couldn't guarantee that he wouldn't betray him. But now it seemed that he was too careful. Not only did Chao Yuliang fail, but Chen Jinpeng, who cooperated with him, also died. As for Xiaochen, he had actually recognized the White Fox as his boss. Now, it would not be easy to use force to deal with Xiaochen. At the very least, it would be under the condition that the White Fox did not interfere. "Chao Yuliang, I trusted you time and time again, but what about you? Tell me, from the beginning to the end, what have you done? Why isn't Xiaochen dead yet?" Qing Mengqiang was furious when he thought of this. "Can you do it or not? If you can't do it, I'll find someone else." "Yes, I can definitely do it." Chao Yuliang was shocked and quickly said, "Young Master Qing, please rest assured. Xiaochen is definitely not far from death." Yes, Xiaochen. How is his relationship with my sister now?" Qing Mengqiang suddenly asked. "It seems to be very bad, right? Menjing has never liked Xiaochen." Chao Yuliang said. "Women are a very strange animal." Qing Mengqiang said faintly, "If they are together for a long time, it is inevitable that they will have feelings. Once they fall in love with that man, their heart will grow on him. Do you understand what I mean?" "Ah, I understand." Chao Yuliang knew that Qing Mengqiang was talking about Xiao Xiao, but in fact, he was also hinting to Qing Menjing not to be taken care of by Xiaochen. That would be very disadvantageous to him. "Okay, you can go now. I am going upstairs." Qing Mengqiang waved his hand, indicating that Chao Yuliang could leave. Chao Yuliang quickly retreated and left the villa, but he was thinking about how to kill Xiaochen. Upstairs, in the room, Xiao turned off the phone screen and glanced at the TV screen. On the screen, the frozen image was a bloody skull. It was very horrifying. This is a horror film. Xiao picked up the remote control and pressed the play button. From the TV, there was a burst of horrified screams. Cheng Mengxiang pushed the door open. Xiao hugged her arms and curled up on the sofa. She was a little nervous. When she saw Cheng Mengxiang come in, she immediately said, "Mengxiang, come and watch this movie with me. It is too scary." "I don't dare to watch it." "Okay, why are you so timid?" Cheng Mengxiang smiled and sat next to Xiao. He reached out and hugged Xiao. "No. If you hug me, there won't be such a scary atmosphere." Xiao pushed Cheng Mengxiang away calmly. She hadn't made the final preparations yet. Okay. Cheng Mengxiang smiled. He didn't force Xiao. In his opinion, some things were reasonable and didn't need to be rushed. Qiao Yuliang returned to the dining room and saw Cheng Menjing and Jean Bebe chatting not far away. He didn't know whether he should go over or not. After all, they said they were talking about something private. He could only cough in the distance to show that he was back. "Cousin Menjing, Xiao Liangzi is back," said Jean Bebe. "You don't have to tell me. I saw it." Qiao Yuliang said, "Okay, that's it. Xiaochen suspects that Meng Chang is the mastermind. Bebe thinks so too. Why don't we ask our cousin-in-law to find a chance to kill him?" "Cousin Menjing, will you be sad?" asked Jean Bebe. "What do you mean kill him? Xiaochen is no match for him. Cheng Mengxiang is not weak. Don't make random suggestions." Cheng Menjing said, "Why should I be sad? Girls from big families have to get married eventually. Actually, what the Cheng family is like has nothing to do with me in the future. Look at Xiao now. Isn't she also loyal to Cheng Mengxiang?" "Oh." Jean Bebe nodded. Her family's way of education was different from the other big families. Therefore, Jean Bebe had a strong sense of belonging to the Jean family. Qiao Yuliang returned. Xiao En's also returned. He saw Qiao Yuliang at first glance. He had investigated before and knew that Qiao Yuliang was Cheng Menjing's pursuer. Therefore, he smiled and walked toward Qiao Yuliang. Xiaochen was no longer a match for him. He was just a follower of Cheng Menjing who bullied others. After he settled Cheng Menjing, he would be able to deal with him however he wanted. Qiao Yuliang was a threat. Therefore, he planned to keep Qiao Yuliang away from Cheng Menjing. "Qiao Yuliang, right?" Xiao En smiled and extended his hand to Qiao Yuliang. "You are?" Qiao Yuliang did not know Xiao En's. He did not go to the same school as Xiaochen and Cheng Menjing in junior high. He went there after high school. Naturally, he did not know Xiao En's. Moreover, when Xiao En's was in the third year of high school, Cheng Menjing was in the first year of junior high. When Qiao Yuliang went there, Xiao En's had already graduated and left Songning City. It would be strange if he knew him. "Let me introduce myself. I am Xiao En's, Menjing's childhood sweetheart." Xiao En said, "I heard that you are from the secular Qiao family. Don't come here if you have nothing to do. You are not welcome here." What do you mean? Is there something wrong with you?" Qiao Yuliang was stunned. Then he said angrily, "Do you have anything to do with me? If not, I am leaving." I am not finished. I am from the law enforcement hall of the secular headquarters of the warrior guild." Xiao En smiled and said, "Qiao Yuliang, what do you think of the suggestion I told you before?" "Nothing much. Are you threatening me? So what if you are from the warrior guild? What does it have to do with you that I am pursuing the goddess? If you have the ability, get engaged with the Cheng family and I will quit. Chao Yuliang curled his lips and scolded, idiot. Do you really think you are someone important? You? Xiao En's was a little dumbfounded. His identity was quite useful in front of the disciples of the secular families. Even Chen Huanling had to curry favor with him. What was wrong with this Chao Yuliang? Did he not know his power and strength? What about you? Is there anything else? Chao Yuliang asked. I am in charge of investigating the crimes of the disciples of the secular families. Chao Yuliang, you do not know what I do you? Xiao En said coldly. I know. So what? If Chao Yuliang did not cooperate with Cheng Mengxiang, he would naturally be afraid of Xiao En's. But now he had no choice. He got close to Cheng Menjing because he could invite Xiao Chen out through her. He could also ask Xiao Chen to help him plan. If he gave up, how could he find Xiao Chen in the future? Compared to this Xiao En's, he felt that Cheng Mengxiang was more terrifying. Cheng Mengxiang had the ability to make an ordinary person become a martial artist like him. If someone said that the Cheng family did not have the support of a ruthless person, Chao Yuliang would not believe it. Even the warrior guild could not make an ordinary person reach the peak of stage 3 inner force. But Cheng Mengxiang could. Moreover, he controlled Chao Yuliang's lifeline. It was impossible for Chao Yuliang to ruin his business because of Xiao En's threat. You are very good. Xiao En's was about to explode. The people of Songning City, Xiao Chen was a stubborn person. This Chao Yuliang was the same. What the hell was wrong with them? Although he lost face, Chao Yuliang did not commit any crime. It was not good for him to investigate him. Chao Yuliang turned around and walked towards Cheng Menjing. Xiao En's was so angry that he followed behind. Previously, he went to visit old Master Cheng, Cheng Zhongming, and Cheng Zhongfan. He hinted that Cheng Menjing could be his concubine. Moreover, he also hinted that he was one of the candidates to become the Warrior Guild's president in the future. It could be seen that old Master Cheng was moved. However, both Cheng Zhongming and Cheng Zhongfan expressed strong opposition. Old Master Cheng saw that both his sons were unanimously against it, so he did not say anything. This immediately made Xiao En's depressed. In fact, Cheng Zhongming was also somewhat puzzled. What was Cheng Zhongfan against? He was against it because of Xiao Chen. Could it be that Cheng Zhongfan was against it because of Chao Yuliang? But what did this have to do with him? Of course, this was not the case. Cheng Zhongfan did not care whether Chao Yuliang was Chao Yuliang or not. He was just a chess piece in Cheng Mengxiang's hands. Cheng Menjing was just a temptation and reward for him. If Cheng Mengxiang wanted to matchmake them, then so be it. If not, Cheng Zhongfan would not interfere. What he was really worried about was Xiao En's identity as the Warrior Guild's law enforcement hall. Because what he was going to do in the future was against the Warrior Guild's rules. Chapter 420. Although he didn't think that Xiao En's was a good person, if Xiao En's intervened, or even reported, then Cheng Zhongfan would lose more than he gained. Therefore, it was better to have less contact with this kind of person, which was why he expressed his strong opposition. Xiao En's, who was full of anger, also hit a wall on Chao Yuliang's side. Listening to Chao Yuliang's words, he suspected that the Cheng family and the Chao family had secretly reached an agreement to unite by marriage, so they rejected him. Thinking about it, it was really possible. Therefore, in Xiao En's heart, he also hated Chao Yuliang. He planned to deal with White Fox and get a reward from the higher-ups. At the same time, he fabricated a little crime against Chao Yuliang to mess with him. At that time, he investigated a big case and was in the limelight. The higher-ups shouldn't interfere too much with him investigating Chao Yuliang. Thinking of this, Xiao En snorted coldly, as if he had already won. Menjing, what do you want to eat? I'll help you get it. Chao Yuliang walked over and asked Cheng Menjing. Menjing, what do you want to drink? I'll help you get it. Xiao Ens also walked over and said. I don't want to eat anything. You guys go ahead. Thank you. Cheng Menjing shook her head. How could she have any appetite? On one side was her family, and on the other side was Xiao Chen. Her heart was in a mess. For a moment, it was difficult to make a choice. If it was in the past, she might be inclined to the Cheng family. After all, the Cheng family was her family. How could she be partial to outsiders? That Xiao Chen was so hateful. He pursued Shen Jingxian and Kerlin in front of her. How could he see her as his fiancée? What did it have to do with her whether he died or not? If he died, she would be free. But now, after spending so much time with Xiao Chen, Cheng Menjing found that Xiao Chen was actually a very good person. The balance in her heart slowly shifted. Although Cheng Mengxiang was her younger brother, to be honest, Cheng Menjing was not very close to him. Besides, he wanted to harm Xiao Chen. If he was killed by Xiao Chen, he would only have himself to blame, and she would not help either side. But, what if Cheng Mengxiang got what he wanted? Xiao Chen was an ordinary person without any strength. How was he going to fight Cheng Mengqiang? Cousin Menjing, what's wrong? Jean Bebe discovered that Cheng Menjing was not in a good mood. Is it because of my cousin-in-law and Cheng Mengqiang? Yes. Cheng Menjing did not deny it. She nodded. You won't die if you don't court death. Jean Bebe said. Cousin Menjing, this is the truth. Yeah. Cheng Menjing thought about it and agreed. If Cheng Mengxiang didn't court death, he definitely wouldn't die. But I'm worried about Xiao Chen. Cousin-in-law? Don't worry. My cousin-in-law is a transformer. He is very awesome. Once he transforms, he will become an awesome person. Jean Bebe said with a smile. Do you think he's Spider-Man? Cheng Menjing rolled her eyes at Jean Bebe. Emicham, Jean Bebe said. Cheng Menjing planned to tell Xiao Chen about this when she got home. She wanted him to be careful. Wasn't the White Fox swordsman his boss? If Hero White Fox were to take action, then Cheng Mengxiang would definitely not dare to act rashly. In fact, neither Chao Yuliang nor Xiao Ens was close to Cheng Menjing. Today, Cheng Menjing acted like she didn't want anyone to get close to her. Even her acquaintances didn't want to talk to her. Therefore, Chao Yuliang and Xiao Ens could only stare at each other. However, Xiao Ens also understood that it was impossible to start from the Cheng family. The Cheng family didn't agree. Therefore, he could only work on Cheng Menjing. When Cheng Menjing followed him, the Cheng family wouldn't say anything. Moreover, the Cheng family was the top aristocratic family in Songning. He couldn't threaten them. After a quiet night, Chao Yuliang and Xiao En stared at each other for the whole night. Then, they left. It was meaningless to stay there. They looked at each other. Neither of them had the chance to get close to Cheng Menjing. Cheng Menjing and Jean Bebe went to rest early. It was meaningless for them to stay here. They might as well go back and show their talents. Chao Yuliang didn't mind. He was used to running into walls. In his opinion, the current situation was good enough. At least, he could go in and out of the Cheng family freely. It was impossible in the past. Xiao Ens was very depressed. Why didn't everything go smoothly after he arrived in Songning City? Originally, he wanted to investigate the White Fox, but he was stopped by Song Hua Wu and Hongzhu. He had finally found Yang Jiannan to rely on after much difficulty, but the White Fox still ignored him, causing him to embarrass himself at the Yu clan's wedding banquet. Now, he came to pursue Cheng Menjing. He even met Chao Yuliang, the stubborn hothead. This Songning City really drove him crazy. In the past, when he went to other cities to carry out missions, he was always surrounded by people. Those small families couldn't wait to treat him as a distinguished guest. They were respectful and afraid of him, but now? He felt like King Clown. White Fox, it's all your fault. If you didn't treat me like this, would these families not take me seriously? I'll definitely tear you into pieces. He pushed all the blame to White Fox, thinking that it was White Fox who made him lose face, which led to the subsequent setbacks. In the middle of the night, Yi Xiaoya waited for a long time, but the White Fox swordsman didn't come over to dual cultivate with her. Yi Xiaoya was a little anxious. She had been progressing very quickly recently, and it was all thanks to their dual cultivation every night. She wanted to send a message to White Fox to ask if he would come. But Yi Xiaoya hesitated for a while and still didn't send it. It was as if she had to look for him. She thought that she had to take off her clothes during cultivation. She was a girl, so how could she take the initiative? She thought that White Fox would come after a while, or at least send a message. But it was already 3 in the morning, and White Fox still hadn't appeared. Yi Xiaoya didn't sleep all night, waiting for him. She was a little annoyed and sent a message to White Fox, "Where the hell are you?" Xiaochen looked at the push notification on the Cultivators Guild's app and smacked his head. He had been so busy that he had forgotten about this matter. He said apologetically, "A friend of mine was beaten up by someone. I am in his house, preparing to stand up for him." "Where? Do you need me to go?" Yi Xiaoya saw the message and wasn't angry anymore. After all, White Fox had something to do, and didn't not come for no reason. "You clan, if you come, you'll be standing up for him in the name of Demon Star Sect. That's not good, right? The other party is the Ouyang clan of the provincial capital, the martial arts clan." Xiao Chen said. "It's okay, wait for me." Yi Xiaoya was obviously not afraid of the Ouyang clan. Speaking of which, the demon sect and the righteous sects often had small conflicts in private. They didn't take it seriously at all. Of course, they were all small-scale conflicts. It was impossible for 2 sects or clans to fight to the death. Xiao Chen had no choice but to give the Yu clan's address to Yi Xiaoya. Then, he said to Yu Xiaochuan, "My partner, Demon Star Sect's Yi Baiya, will be here in a while. Tomorrow, we'll stand up for Old Pig together. However, don't reveal my identity. She doesn't know my identity. Don't let it slip." Xiao Chen was afraid that Yi Xiaoya would kill him after knowing that he was Xiao Chen. "Don't worry, Hero White Fox. We all call you Hero White Fox," Yu Xiaochuan said quickly. He was a little excited. Boss Xiao Chen was awesome. That girl from Demon Star Sect must have taken a fancy to boss. Otherwise, why would she come to help him? Humph, she's really a little slut. Yu Shanshan, Tang Tang, and Zhu Yingxiong also nodded in agreement. They didn't want to bring unnecessary trouble to Xiao Chen. After a while, Yi Xiaoya arrived. She was wearing a tight outfit and looked cool. She had the aura of a heroine. Early the next morning, Ouyang Liang came to the Yu clan again at dawn. However, when he walked into the living room, he was slightly stunned. When he saw White Fox and Yi Baiya sitting at the head of the living room, his face suddenly changed. That day, he also went to watch Ouyang Tang's summit competition. Naturally, he knew who Hero White Fox was. However, he didn't expect that Hero White Fox would be sitting here. Wasn't the Yu clan also a branch of a righteous sect? How could they be related to the demon sect? Could it be that they were also guests? Thinking of this, Ouyang Liang forced himself to calm down and said, "Yu Xiaochuan, Yu Shanshan, what's wrong? Yu clan has guests. Is it this stupid thing?" Xiao Chen pointed at Ouyang Liang and asked. "Hero White Fox, that's him." Yu Xiaochuan quickly replied. "Well, Ouyang, who are you?" You're quite daring, aren't you? Xiaochen asked coldly. Yesterday, you came to the Yu clan to act tough and injured Zhu Yingxiong? At this moment, Ouyang Liang finally confirmed that White Fox was asked to stand up for him. He was shocked and wanted to leave. After all, he was a stage 6 inner strength martial artist. It was impossible for him to compete with White Fox, the number 1 person in the summit. You Xiaochuan, what do you mean? Isn't your Yu clan a righteous sect? How dare you collude with the demon sect? If this matter is known by the righteous sect's martial arts alliance master, you know the consequences. Ouyang Liang threatened. The Yu clan is not enough to invite me. Xiaochen said indifferently, Zhu Yingxiong is my little brother. He was beaten by you. I'm only here to ask for an explanation. Yu Xiaochuan was not unhappy with Xiaochen's words. Instead, he felt that Xiaochen was loyal and did not implicate the Yu clan. He only highlighted that he was asked to come by Zhu Yingxiong. This way, the Yu clan would not have much to do with the Yu clan. As for the Zhu clan, it was just a small family. This kind of family could be either righteous or demonic. It was not like the Yu clan, which was a branch of the Yu clan of Zhenwu. It had already been labeled as a righteous sect and could not be changed. Unless the Yu clan of Zhenwu changed their faction, the Yu clan of Songning would not be able to change their faction so easily. So it's him. Ouyang Liang's heart tightened. If White Fox was found by the Yu clan, it could be solved with a little negotiation. However, if it was found by Zhu Yingxiong, this matter would not end so easily. He had seen White Fox's ruthless methods. Those who provoked him would not have a good ending. He subconsciously took 2 steps back. Chapter 421. Standing at the entrance, Ouyang Liang laughed dryly. So that's how it is. That's a misunderstanding. Just pretend that I never came. I'll leave first. Let's not talk about the engagement anymore. Did I let you go? Xiaochen said coldly when he saw Ouyang Liang trying to escape. White Fox, I didn't know that Zhu Yingxiong is your little brother. Let's forget about this. What else do you want? Ouyang Liang asked weakly. Oh, you seriously injured him and you want to forget about this? Xiaochen asked. No, what else do you want? Ouyang Liang's breath stagnated. Well. As soon as Xiaochen's voice fell, he made a move. With a seemingly gentle wave, Ouyang Liang flew out and fell heavily on the ground, vomiting blood. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Yu Xiaochuan was shocked. He didn't know when Xiaochen became so ruthless. Was this person really the original Xiaochen? Or was the previous Xiaochen just a disguise? Thinking of this, Yu Xiaochuan felt a burst of fear. If Xiaochen didn't like him before, would he have become a corpse? Fortunately, he changed his gender and didn't do anything bad to Tang Tang. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to escape. Inform the Ouyang clan to collect the body and tell them what happened. Xiaochen said to Yu Xiaochuan, put all the blame on me. Tell the Ouyang clan that if they have the ability, they can challenge the demonic star sect. Yi Xiaoya interrupted. Okay. Yu Xiaochuan didn't dare to neglect. After all, the disciple of the Ouyang clan of Zhenwu died in the Yu clan of Songning. If it wasn't handled well, it might cause a series of troubles. But now that the troubles were taken by the demonic star sect, the Yu clan had nothing to worry about. Yu Xiaochuan called the Ouyang clan of Zhenwu and told them what happened here. Although Ouyang Liang came from a side branch, he was still one of the outstanding disciples of the clan. Although he didn't explicitly say that he would participate in the competition for the young master, he was also one of the disciples who would be trained in the future. Now, he had actually died in the Yu clan. Moreover, he was killed by people from the Demon Star sect. How could the Ouyang clan not be furious? However, the people from the Ouyang family were not fools. They had heard of the White Fox hero's name. He knew that the White Fox swordsman had been in the limelight recently. He possessed the strength of a demonic cultivator at the peak of Stage 8 internal force. With such strength, there were few who could rival him among the younger generation, at least among the true martial arts aristocratic families. Although the current patriarch of the Ouyang clan was an extremely powerful expert, he couldn't act. If he did, it would be equivalent to provoking the other sections. If he killed the White Fox, the old monsters of the Devil Star sect would come out and massacre the Ouyang clan. At that time, it would be a large-scale conflict. Not only would the Martial Artist Guild not allow it, even the Supernatural Investigation Bureau would step in and interfere. Even the Martial Arts Alliance Master and the Demonic Clan Master would not allow such a large-scale conflict. That was a violation of the peace agreement that everyone had signed back then. Large-scale conflicts between sects were prohibited. It didn't matter if it was a personal conflict, but it was absolutely not allowed to escalate to a conflict between sections. Uncle, although Liang Heir was born from my personal maid, he was also a key disciple of our Ouyang clan. He can't die in vain. The man with a sad face was Ouyang Liang and Ouyang Tang's father, Ouyang Hudu. His uncle was the current patriarch of the Ouyang clan, Ouyang Junba. He was also the pillar of the Ouyang clan, an old monster-level existence. Only the people of the Ouyang clan knew how long he had lived. Of course, his age at this time was already several times the lifespan of an ordinary person. Care? Can I do it? Ouyang Junba said coldly. Ouyang Liang, Ouyang Tang, don't use your brains. Don't you know who you can provoke and who you can't? That White Fox is now in the limelight. Provoking his people, isn't that courting death? Then, this hatred, can't be avenged? Ouyang Hudu said with grief and indignation. Third brother, don't you understand father's words? The one who spoke was Ouyang Junba's son, Ouyang Hutian. Father just told the children of our Ouyang clan not to be impulsive. We have to plan before we act. Yes, Hudu, you have to learn from Hutian. How many times have I said it? Don't you remember the examples I gave you? Ouyang Junba said, what I said is my personal experience. My two cousins, because they offended a ruthless person, they both died tragically. This is a living example to tell you that you shouldn't provoke people that you shouldn't provoke. But now... Ouyang Hudu smiled bitterly. His ears were getting calluses from listening to the family's teachings. But at that time, the Ouyang clan was just an underworld family, like the Songning Lu clan. Now, the Ouyang clan was a real martial arts family. Was there anything wrong with this? It could only be said that Ouyang Tang and Ouyang Liang were unlucky. They kicked an iron plate. Usually, Ouyang Hutian's son was also bullying outside, but he didn't see him being beaten to death. However, he couldn't say this. Who asked him to be so unlucky? I can't do it, but as their father, you can. Although it's a bit bullying, at least it's in line with the rules. Ouyang Junba said. I'm not his opponent. Ouyang Hudu's face changed. He was just a martial artist at the 8th level of inner force. He was not even as good as White Fox. Wasn't he courting death? There may be other opportunities in the next Righteous Devil Summit. Let Kuang Er do it. This White Fox must be eliminated, but not now. Ouyang Junba said faintly, Hutian, when Kuang Er comes out, ask him to see me. Yes, father. Ouyang Hutian quickly said. This Ouyang Kuang was his son. He was now a martial artist at the peak of the 10th level of inner force. He was now in a life and death retreat. For a martial artist, it was the most important hurdle in life. If he could break through, he would be like a carp leaping through the dragon's gate. However, Ouyang Kuang didn't seem to be interested in the fight for the head of the family. He had been training crazily since he was a child. He was also crazy about challenging others. He liked the feeling of stepping on all the masters of his generation. Ouyang Hudu, go and ask someone to bring Ouyang Liang's body back. Don't have any conflict with White Fox. This matter will be decided after Kuang Air comes out. Ouyang Junba ordered. Yes. Ouyang Hudu was depressed. He thought that one of his two sons could fight for the position of the head of the family. At the very least, he could become an elder of the family. But now, one was dead and the other was injured. How could he not be sad? What surprised Xiao Chen was that the Ouyang family only sent a few ordinary disciples to take away Ouyang Liang's body. They didn't provoke or threaten to fight. It was as if this matter was just an ordinary matter and had nothing to do with the Ouyang family. This calm reaction made Xiao Chen frown slightly. What did the Ouyang family want to do? They didn't say anything about revenge. They also didn't say that this matter was over. Even if they asked, it would be useless. Xiao Chen secretly raised his guard. This Ouyang family was really good at enduring. If someone was killed on the summit, it was still possible to endure. But if someone was killed in private, how many of them would be able to endure and not take revenge? However, this also made Xiao Chen feel that there was an expert in the Ouyang family. At least, the person in charge of the Ouyang family had a clear mind and wasn't impulsive. They couldn't even be compared to the extreme ice sect. When someone from the extreme ice sect died, the first thing they thought of was revenge. As for the Ouyang family, from Xiao Chen's point of view, it wasn't because they were afraid of the martial family. To be able to become a martial family, their foundation was very strong. They were completely different from ordinary families. The Qing family was so powerful now, but they still couldn't become a martial family. So there must be a problem. However, on the surface, Xiao Chen didn't say this. He just had to be careful. He just said to Yu Xiaochuan, okay, I'll leave first. If there's anything, contact me at any time. Okay, Hero White Fox, thank you. Yu Xiaochuan said quickly. Thank you. Yu Shanshan was also very grateful to Xiao Chen. Previously, she was a little angry that he stole her brother's wife, but now, there was no resentment. After all, her brother also said that he couldn't touch women while he was cultivating. Moreover, Xiao Chen saved her man and stood up for them. How could she be angry with Xiao Chen again? Xiao Chen waved his hand, indicating that Zhu Yingxiong should rest well. He nodded to Tang Tang and left the Yu family with Yi Xiaoya. Looking at Xiao Chen's car, Yi Xiaoya was a little surprised. Isn't this Xiao Chen's car? Why did it come to your place? Even if Yi Xiaoya didn't ask, Xiao Chen had to explain to her. He said, Zhu Yingxiong is Xiao Chen's little brother, which is also my little brother. I'm helping Xiao Chen. Oh. You're quite loyal. Hearing that White Fox was helping Xiao Chen, Yi Xiaoya didn't raise any objection. Xiao Chen thought that Yi Xiaoya didn't say that he was nosy because he was a neighbor. Aren't we the people of Jianghu supposed to be loyal? Xiao Chen said with a smile. Well, we in the Demon Gate are all people of character. We are much better than those righteous sects who are full of righteousness and are more overbearing than anyone else. They are all hypocrites who only protect their own interests and suppress us, the Demon Gate. Yi Xiaoya snorted, sooner or later, we will let them know the power of the Demon Gate. You have a strong sense of belonging to the Demon Gate. Xiao Chen sighed. Aren't you? Yi Xiaoya thought for a moment and said, but you may be a little worse. After all, you practice by yourself. Even if your master is from the Demon Gate, he can't tell you too much, so your sense of belonging may be relatively poor. Maybe. Xiao Chen didn't deny it. In fact, Xiao Chen had never seen the beautiful ant that Yi Xiaoya mentioned, but he was happy to misunderstand, so he didn't have to explain too much. Chapter 422. Right, it's right for you to help Xiao Chen. Yi Xiaoya suddenly said. What do you mean? Xiao Chen was stunned. You're not interested in him, are you? I went to help him. Not only did you not say that I was nosy, but you also asked me to help him more? What are you talking about? Yi Xiaoye blushed and said, I want to say that the beautiful auntie who taught you cultivation may have some relationship with Xiao Chen, so you should help him more. Don't let him get hurt. Oh? Xiao Chen's heart tightened. Why? The beautiful auntie that Yi Xiaoye mentioned has a relationship with Xiao Chen? But why didn't I know? I am Xiao Chen. Whether it was the identity of Xiao Chen or the white fox, I have never seen any beautiful auntie. What's the relationship between her and Xiao Chen? Xiao Chen asked calmly. It's hard to say specifically. Don't ask. This is our sect's internal secret. I can't say it casually. Don't force me. Yi Xiaoye shook her head. Okay. Although Xiao Chen was very puzzled, since Yi Xiaoye said so, he naturally couldn't force her. Let's go. Let's go home. I didn't cultivate yesterday. My strength didn't improve much. Yi Xiaoye complained. But, it's already morning, Xiao Chen said as he pointed outside the window. You're so annoying. Don't not look for me in the middle of the night next time. Yi Xiaoye just remembered that it was already daytime. How embarrassing would it be if they cultivated together? Okay, as long as I'm fine, I'll look for you. Xiao Chen promised quickly. Okay. Yi Xiaoye nodded. After driving back to the villa, Xiao Chen asked Yi Xiaoye to come in. He parked the car and pretended to leave the villa area on foot. In fact, he just walked around and found a place where nobody was around to change his clothes. Then, he returned to the villa with Xiao Chen's face. After a simple wash, Xiao Chen drove to the Cheng family's villa. He still needed to pick up Cheng Menjing and Jean Beibei. He drove all the way to the Cheng family's villa. He sent a message to the eldest young miss, asking if she had woken up yet. Very soon, the eldest young miss replied, saying that she was having breakfast in the Cheng family's dining room and that Xiao Chen could come over directly. Xiao Chen's car wasn't stopped at the entrance because he had sent Missy here yesterday. He arrived at the entrance of the Cheng family's dining room. Xiao Chen got out of the car and walked in. However, when he saw the people who were eating, he slowed down slightly. There were only 2 tables in the restaurant. One table was for the direct descendants of the Cheng family, and the other table was for the relatives and some womenfolk of the Cheng family, such as Cheng Mengqiang and Cheng Menjing's mother, who were not of the Cheng family surname. Cheng Menjing was naturally sitting at the table for the direct descendants of the Cheng family. To Xiao Chen's surprise, Jean Beibei was also sitting there. However, considering that she was a guest, it was understandable. But that was nothing. What shocked Xiao Chen the most was that there was another person who was not of the Cheng family at that table. It was Xiao Xiao. To his surprise, Xiao Xiao was also here. Xiao Chen sighed slightly. It seemed that Xiao Xiao was finally with Cheng Mengqiang. Grandpa Cheng, Uncle Zhongming, Uncle Xiaofan. Xiao Chen had no choice but to walk over and greet them. Humph. Old Master Cheng snorted coldly. Ignoring them, he lowered his head and continued to eat. Xiao Chen, you are here. Have you had breakfast? Would you like to sit down and eat with me? Cheng Zhongming said warmly. Brother, have you forgotten how Zhongqian disappeared? Cheng Zhongfan glanced at Cheng Zhongming and reminded him. Well. Cheng Zhongming's expression froze slightly. I'm not eating. I'm here to take Missy and Beibei back to the villa. Xiao Chen smiled and didn't take it seriously. He was now basically sure that there were almost no good people in the Cheng family except for Cheng Zhongming, so he didn't bother to build a good relationship with them. When the time comes, he would definitely kill them. Why would he care so much? It's important to have self-awareness and know your position. It's not bad. Old Master Cheng glanced at Xiao Chen and nodded with satisfaction. Because Xiao Chen's words positioned himself as a servant, always remember that you, a member of the Xiao family, is a sinner of the Cheng family. He is not a member of the Xiao family. Xiao Xiao said coldly. Huh, that's right. Why are you angry because of a person who was kicked out of the Xiao family? Grandpa, uncle, father, let's eat. Cheng Mengqiang also laughed. Cheng Menjing glared at Xiao Xiao angrily. She didn't understand why Xiao Xiao said this to her brother. Even if he was kicked out of the family, it couldn't change the fact that he was a member of the Xiao family, right? Moreover, Xiao Chen wasn't as useless as everyone thought. Besides, how could Xiao Chen be blamed for the disappearance of her uncle? Now in Cheng Menjing's opinion, it was most likely that Cheng Mengqiang was behind it. He was there with Xiao Xiao, a thief crying thief. I'm full. Bebe, let's go back. Cheng Menjing stood up and said, Grandpa, father, second uncle, I'll go back first. Why, Menjing, you don't want to listen to us talking about Xiao Chen? Do you still have a fiancé in your heart? Cheng Xiaofan said sarcastically. Of course, there was nothing wrong with his question. After all, Xiao Chen was the common enemy of the Cheng family. Uncle Cheng, don't be angry. Xiao Chen is her servant. If he is beaten to a pulp, it won't look good for her, right? You have to look at the owner before you beat the dog. Although he has been kicked out of the Xiao family, if he does anything to harm the Xiao family, I will also be unhappy. Xiao Xiao said to Cheng Xiaofan with a smile. Yes, let's save some face for my sister. Cheng Mengqiang nodded and smiled. He found that Xiao Xiao was really on the same side as the Cheng family now. She didn't forget to insult Xiao Chen. This was a good thing. Cheng Mengqiang was afraid that Xiao Xiao would be unhappy if she found out that he killed Xiao Chen and would throw a tantrum with him. But from the looks of it now, killing Xiao Xiao would only be said to be getting rid of a scourge for the Xiao family. Cheng Menjing was a little annoyed. Is she Xiao Chen's biological sister? Is she not his biological sister? How could she say that? She turned around and left with Jean Bebe with a gloomy face. Xiao Chen shrugged and followed them. He turned a deaf ear to Xiao Zhao's criticism, as if he didn't hear it at all. After leaving the Cheng family's restaurant and returning to the car, the eldest miss was still indignant. Xiao Chen, why is your relationship with Xiao Xiao so bad? Why does she always speak up for Cheng Mengqiang's family? In the past, our relationship was actually quite good, but I don't know when it started, but she rarely spoke to me anymore. Xiao Chen sighed, feeling a little emotional. Thinking back to when he was young, Xiao Xiao always followed him to school, followed him after school, stuck to him whenever there was nothing to do, and even said that she would marry him when she grew up. Xiao Chen felt a little sad. He didn't know when Xiao Xiao gradually alienated and treated him coldly. She didn't have the same feeling as when they were young anymore. When Xiao Xiao saw him at home, she just nodded coldly and sneered at the engagement between him and Cheng Menjing. However, she was right. He would break off the engagement sooner or later. When I was young, my sister always thought that her brother was the best. But when she grew up and saw more, her opinion might have changed. In fact, it's like me. I used to think that Xiao En's was quite awesome, but now it seems that he is also a filthy person, Cheng Menjing said. How can you compare me with him? Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Besides, isn't your relationship with Cheng Mengqiang just as bad? We've always been bad. We haven't been good since we were young, not until later. Cheng Menjing said, forget it, let's not talk about this. Let's go back. Another week has passed. Time flies. Yes, yes. I'm so sleepy. I didn't sleep well last night, so cousin Menjing talked to me. Cousin-in-law, hurry up and drive. Bebe is going back to catch up on sleep. Jean Bebe said. It's such a good weekend, but you're sleeping. Cheng Menjing glared at her and yawned. Cousin Menjing is sleepy, too. Jean Bebe shouted excitedly as if she had discovered a new continent. I've been infected by you, Cheng Menjing said grumpily. Xiao Chen smiled and drove back to the villa. Miss Su and Jean Bebe went upstairs to sleep. Xiao Chen had nothing to do. In the past, when he and Tang Tang went to the morning market to sell fried dough sticks, he would either go out with Miss Su or attend a summit. Anyway, his schedule was full, and he had no time to rest. But now, he didn't know what to do. Since he couldn't go to Yi Xiaoye for dual cultivation, Xiao Chen had nothing to do. He planned to go out and take a look at the antique market and the old goods market to see if he could buy ancient jade or something. However, as soon as he went out, something happened. Lin was busy selling noodles. With a good location, the flow of customers increased. But to Lin's surprise, Lu Shuangshuang came to the morning market early in the morning to help her sell noodles as a free part-time worker. Lu Shuangshuang, aren't you going to sell binoculars? Lin was a little confused. The business should be better on Saturdays and Sundays, right? Why did she come here instead of selling binoculars? I'm not going. I'm going to help you sell noodles. You see how busy I am today. If I weren't here, I would have missed several batches of customers and made less than 100 yuan. Lu Shuangshuang said with a smile. Lin was a little speechless. You can make nearly 5,000 yuan by selling a binocular. Why do you care about my 100 yuan? I won't give it to you even if you say it again. I didn't ask for it. Lu Shuangshuang said, I'm here to help for free. Lu Shuangshuang, is there something wrong? Why do I feel that you have something to talk to me about? Lin frowned and looked at Lu Shuangshuang. She grew up with Lu Shuangshuang. She knew Lu Shuangshuang's character very well. Lu Shuangshuang regarded money as her life. How could she give up such a good time to sell binoculars and come to help for no reason? Lu Shuangshuang was a warm-hearted person. Sometimes she would come to help after work in the warriors' market. But now the warriors' market was still open. Chapter 423. No. Lu Shuangshuang quickly put away the spinach in her hand and began to peel the braised egg. She was very busy. If you don't want to say it, then forget it. I won't help you even if you say it later, said Lin. Then I have it. Lu Shuangshuang said quickly. You have it again? Lin looked at Lu Shuangshuang with a smile and said, Lu Shuangshuang, I said you have something, right? You see, if you have something, just say it. Do we still need to be like this? This matter, it may be a little difficult for you, but, can you help me? Lu Shuangshuang hesitated and said shyly. Shuangshuang, you haven't said what it is. How can I help you? Lin was a little dumbfounded. What else can it be difficult for me? You don't want to borrow money from me, right? Then I don't have a penny. My scholarship has to be handed over to my parents. Although I lack money, I can barely support my family. My business won't open for 3 months, but once it opens, it will eat for 3 months. Lu Shuangshuang said, it's something else. Oh, what is it? Lin suddenly had some doubts. What can Lu Shuangshuang ask for from me? I want to borrow someone from you. Lu Shuangshuang looked at Lin's expression and said carefully. Borrow someone? Borrow who? Lin was stunned. My family, only my dad and mom. Why are you so stupid? Of course, I want to borrow your boyfriend. Lu Shuangshuang said with a smile, how about it? Do you want to borrow him? My boyfriend? Lin was stunned. She didn't know what to say. After a while, she said, Shuangshuang, I don't have a boyfriend. Don't talk nonsense. Why not? He accompanied you to pee. If he wasn't your boyfriend, with your shy character, would you take off your pants in front of him? Lu Shuangshuang pulled Lin to the side. Now let's talk alone. Uncle and auntie can't hear us. I know you don't want your family to know that you are in a relationship. I'm not in puppy love. Lin stomped her feet. I told you, he's not my boyfriend. He's just sending me home. You all went to get a room, don't think I don't know. Lu Shuangshuang said. I really didn't. You misunderstood, Shuangshuang. Lin explained a little frantically, he really isn't my boyfriend. There was a special situation that day. I fainted, and he happened to see me. He took me to rest for a while and then sent me home. In the end, I had to go to the toilet, and then I met a pervert. I was scared, so I asked him to accompany me. Oh, I believe you. Can you lend him to me for a while? Although Lu Shuangshuang said that she believed him, she obviously didn't. Otherwise, why would she continue to ask Lin for a boyfriend? Shuangshuang, why don't you believe me? He's really not my boyfriend. How can I lend it to you? Lin said helplessly, all right, go do your work. Go to the warrior guild and sell your stuff. Ku'er, I really have something big. Please help me. Lu Shuangshuang was a little anxious. You can't leave me in the lurch. How can I leave you in the lurch? Lin smiled bitterly and said, Shuangshuang, Xiaochen isn't my boyfriend. Besides, if you lend him to me, can he save you? Yes. Lu Shuangshuang nodded. Isn't this our junior high school reunion? That fat bear from our class, you should know him, right? He's the school bully from our middle school. Didn't he always pursue me in school? A few days ago, I don't know why he heard that my family is in trouble, so he said that he wanted to take care of me. I was angry, so I said that I already have a rich boyfriend. In the end, I didn't expect that it's a reunion. If I don't bring him, won't I lose face? Lin was a little speechless. Why is this Lu Shuangshuang so vain? She can even brag like this. However, she knew about Fat Bear. Although she wasn't in the same class as Lu Shuangshuang in junior high, she had heard about such a famous school bully like Fat Bear. However, at that time, she was a well-behaved girl who was protected by the teachers in school. She had the hope of getting into number 1 middle school or number 2 middle school with her real results, so no one harassed her. However, when she reached high school, it was completely different. This was different from her ordinary middle school. There were more bad guys here. Those rich young masters were even more unscrupulous than Fat Bear. If it wasn't for Xiao Chen who always looked after her, she really didn't know if she would be defiled or not. Sometimes, Lin kept thinking, why is my luck so bad? Shuangshuang, then why don't you not go to the reunion? Lin suggested weakly. How can I not go? I promised him before. This reunion was agreed a long time ago. I didn't expect it to be tonight. In the end, I just talked to Fat Bear about it 2 days ago. Lu Shuangshuang said with a bitter face. You are vain. It's useless. Lin didn't know what to say. Although I want to help, he really isn't my boyfriend. I can't trouble him. It's okay. Give me your phone number. I will call him. I will talk to him. Lu Shuangshuang said. This isn't very good, right? Lin felt that giving someone else's phone number was a kind of immoral behavior. Then I will ask uncle and auntie for it. Lu Shuangshuang pretended to leave. Okay, I am really scared of you. I will give it to you. But don't talk nonsense. You look for him in your own name. Don't say anything about me. Lin couldn't help it. She could only say so, but she still warned her. I know. Give it to me. Lu Shuangshuang said eagerly. Lin wrote down Xiao Chen's phone number and gave it to Lu Shuangshuang. Then she went back to work. She was pulled over by Lu Shuangshuang for a long time. The business there was a little busy. Lu Shuangshuang rolled her eyes. She took out her mobile phone and dialed Xiao Chen's number. She had a mobile phone. Perhaps only a good girl like Lin didn't have a mobile phone. Hello? Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. There was a strange call from his mobile phone card. Is it Kuer's boyfriend? Lu Shuangshuang asked with a smile. Kuer's boyfriend? You called the wrong number. Xiao Chen said subconsciously. He was about to hang up the phone. His identity was not anyone's boyfriend. Even Tang Tang's identity was not disclosed to the public. Hey, wait. Don't hang up. Lu Shuangshuang said hurriedly. Are you Xiao Chen? I am. You are? Xiao Chen thought he called the wrong number. He didn't expect that the other party could call his name. He listened carefully. It seemed that the other party's voice was also familiar. Where did he hear it? I'm Lu Shuangshuang. I'm Lin's good friend. The one who sells binoculars. Did you forget? We met in Temple Street and in the toilet. Lu Shuangshuang quickly reminded him. Oh, it's you. What's the matter? Xiao Chen knew the other party's identity, so he asked. Here's the thing. Can I ask you a favor? Lu Shuangshuang asked with some expectation. Tonight, do you have anything to do? Tonight? Nothing, but tell me what's the matter first. Xiao Chen was a little puzzled. He didn't understand why Lu Shuangshuang was looking for him. His current identity was Xiao Chen, not White Fox. What could she ask from him? This is the case. I have a classmate gathering. I want you to accompany me, said Lu Shuangshuang. What? Xiao Chen was a little stunned. Your classmate gathering. Why do you want me to go? I don't know those classmates of yours. Xiao Chen was a little dumbfounded at the moment. What is Lu Shuangshuang's logic? Is she familiar with me? Even if we are familiar, her classmate gathering has nothing to do with me, right? I want you to pretend to be my boyfriend and deceive someone. Lu Shuangshuang said, is that okay? No, I don't have time. Xiao Chen refused directly. How could he have the time? It's really inexplicable. Aya, just do me a favor. I know you haven't won over Lin yet. At most, I will help you put in a few good words in the future. How about it? Lu Shuangshuang suggested. That won't work. This has nothing to do with me. I'm not free. Xiao Chen refused flatly. Okay, you're turning your back on me. Last time, I said that if I need your help in the future, don't refuse, and you agreed. Now you're not going to admit it? Lu Shuangshuang said with some anger. Did I agree? Xiao Chen was stunned. He didn't remember. Even if he agreed, it was just polite words. How could she take it seriously? However, Lu Shuangshuang obviously took it seriously. Xiao Chen was a little helpless. Then tell me, why do you want me to pretend to be your boyfriend? You're not that old now, right? Your classmates should also be in their 3rd year of high school. At this age, why do you have a boyfriend? No, I'm 1 year older than Lin. My classmates are all in their 1st year of high school. Now it's a junior high class reunion. The main thing is that there's a person I don't like who keeps chasing me. I have no choice but to tell him that I found a very rich and powerful boyfriend. He doesn't believe me, so I have to bring him to the reunion. Lu Shuangshuang explained, you also know that I'm selling binoculars every day. I'm so busy. How can I find time to find a boyfriend? Besides, my grandma is still sick. I have to go back and take care of her when I have time. If I get into such trouble, he will bother me all day long. I can only deal with him." After listening to Lu Shuangshuang say so much, Xiaochen suddenly had a headache. It really was this kind of **T. However, he really didn't have anything to do at night. After thinking about it, it was just a little effort, so he agreed. "Okay, then I'll help you once. However, I won't care in the future. Don't do it again and again. This time, it's because of Kuer." Chapter 424. Okay, it can't be endless. Lu Shuangshuang was overjoyed and quickly reminded him, "Then at 4:00 tonight, pick me up at the entrance of the warrior guild. Remember to drive your Land Rover." Xiaochen muttered the word "gold digger" in his heart, but he still nodded and agreed, "Okay." Xiaochen was a person who valued his promises. Since he might really promise to help Lu Shuangshuang in the future, he wouldn't decline. He originally wanted to go out, but now there was no need to go out. He would rest at home and go find Lu Shuangshuang at night. He went out and came back. Yi Xiaoya saw Xiaochen drive out and come back. She was a little puzzled. She was fiddling with her flower bed. When she saw Xiaochen park the car, she asked, "Where did you go? Why are you back so soon?" "Nothing. I just went out for a walk, but it was boring, so I came back. I'm going to sleep." Xiaochen greeted her and went back to the bedroom. Looking at Xiaochen's lazy back, Yi Xiaoya frowned. "This person, why is he like this? I've tried so hard to help him, but he's still sloppy. If only he could be like the white fox." Unconsciously, Yi Xiaoya thought of the white fox. During this period of time, it was impossible to say that Yi Xiaoya didn't have a good impression of the white fox. A young man and a woman working together to do a mission, and they even took off their clothes and rested together. How could Yi Xiaoya not have any of those thoughts? However, Yi Xiaoya had to control herself. As one of the candidates for the demon sect saintess, she was bound by the marriage contract from the moment she was chosen. She had no right to choose her love. Unless the next demon sect leader was born and the demon sect saintess was born, her marriage contract would be automatically dissolved. Otherwise, not only would the demon sect not let her go, but the sect would not let her go either. This was also the reason why she was determined not to let the white fox have dual cultivation with her during the day. As for Xiaochen, Yi Xiaoya always had complicated feelings for him. She wanted to help him, but there were many things that she couldn't say out loud. She hoped that he could quickly gain the ability to protect himself. Otherwise, when that person came out of seclusion, things would become quite complicated. Shaking her head, Yi Xiaoya withdrew her thoughts and continued to play with the flowers and plants in the flower bed. Back in the room, Xiaochen received an email on his mobile phone. It was from the same sender as last time. This made Xiaochen slightly surprised, and he quickly opened the content of the email. It was this person who hinted at Cheng Mengxiang's problem last time. The content of the email was as simple as the last time: "Family gathering Chao Yuliang Cheng Mengxiang's villa, get rid of you." However, although the content was brief, Xiaochen understood it at a glance. The context was clearer than the previous time. It directly and clearly explained that there was a problem between Chao Yuliang and Cheng Mengxiang, and they wanted to kill him. Although Xiaochen was very puzzled about who this person was and why would he send such a text message to him. It was reasonable to say that this person should be a person who cared more about him, but why did he know so clearly about Chao Yuliang and Cheng Mengxiang's matters? Xiaochen knew one person who had this possibility, and that was the young Mississippi. She knew Chao Yuliang and was familiar with Cheng Mengxiang. It was naturally not too difficult to know these situations. However, what Xiaochen couldn't figure out was that the young miss didn't need to tell him in such a form. Wouldn't it be better if she told him directly? In the past, Perhaps she was scrupulous about the relationship between him and the Cheng family, so she couldn't say it openly. However, 2 days ago, Xiaochen had an open and honest talk with her. The young miss also promised to help, so there was no need to tell him in this form. If this person wasn't the young miss, who would it be? Who else could have been paying attention to this matter? Xiaochen always felt that something was wrong. A thought flashed in his mind. He seemed to have thought of something, but it was very vague. Thinking of this, Xiaochen directly sent a text message to the young miss, "Menjing, how is the situation? What did you say about Chao Yuliang's matter?" This text message was sent very obscurely. Even if Cheng Menjing forgot to delete it, others wouldn't think that there was a problem if they saw it. Not long after the text message was sent, Xiaochen heard the sound of someone coming down the stairs outside the door. Obviously, the young miss came down. It could be seen that she was a very careful person. She didn't say it directly in the phone. Xiaochen pushed open the door and walked out, just in time to see Cheng Menjing in her pajamas. Her eyes were a little drowsy, but her cheeks were rosy, making her look exceptionally delicate. There was an indescribable charm to her as she stretched lazily. Perhaps only her husband would be qualified to appreciate such a scene in the future, but Xiaochen had seen it now. Sometimes, Xiaochen couldn't tell his position in the young Mississippi. Was she the hostess or the fiancée? If Xiaochen had always been the good-for-nothing Xiaochen, he probably wouldn't have so many thoughts now. After all, it was definitely impossible between him and the young Mississippi. But now, his strength couldn't be said to be the best in the world, but at least in Songning City. After Cheng Zhongming's previous hint, Xiaochen's thoughts about Cheng Menjing became active again. Xiaochen didn't know what was wrong with him. He obviously had Shen Jingxian and Tang Tang, but he still had thoughts about Cheng Menjing. This was not his previous character at all. At that time, he was only crazy about Shen Jingxian. He didn't even have other thoughts about Kerlin. What are you looking at? Cheng Menjing found that Xiaochen's eyes were staring at her, and she felt a little uncomfortable. Now you know that I'm beautiful, right? But it's too late. Your engagement has been broken off. What were you doing earlier? Hee, it's not too late now. At least I can see you every day. Xiaochen laughed. I don't want to talk about this with you. Cheng Menjing glared at Xiaochen and said, I was in a daze and fell asleep with Bei Bei, so I forgot to tell you. Bei Bei followed Chao Yuliang here yesterday and found that he entered Cheng Mengqiang's villa. As for what they talked about, Bei Bei had no way of knowing, but, your previous guess is really possible. Sure enough. If Xiaochen didn't particularly believe the anonymous email, then he had to believe what Cheng Menjing said to him. Sure enough, there was something wrong with Cheng Mengqiang. In this way, things became complicated. How much was the Cheng family involved? Did Cheng Zhongming know? But Xiaochen felt that Cheng Zhongming shouldn't know. He was on his side, so the Cheng family was left with Old Master Cheng and Cheng Zhongfan. Among these two, Cheng Zhongfan must have something wrong. Whether there was something wrong with Old Master Cheng, it was still unknown for the time being. But these were not important. It was easy to deal with the target. With Xiaochen's current strength, it was not enough to crush the Cheng family. The strength of Old Master Cheng was said to be unfathomable. No one had seen him show his strength in recent years. Xiaochen was confident in dealing with Cheng Mengqiang and Cheng Zhongfan, but he didn't know if Old Master Cheng would jump out. If he was the behind-the-scenes mastermind, then if Xiaochen killed Cheng Mengqiang and Cheng Zhongfan in advance, it would only alert the enemy. Looking at Xiaochen's uncertain expression, Cheng Menjing asked with some concern, Xiaochen, are you going to find someone to deal with Cheng Mengqiang? Not for the time being. Let's wait and see. Xiaochen sighed. He finally confronted the Cheng family. This wasn't the situation he wanted to see. After all, that was the Mrs. home. You, protect yourself. When I'm here, I can help you. When I'm not here, you can only rely on yourself. Cheng Menjing said, if you want to do something, just do it. Don't worry about my feelings, if, one day, I mean if. If I find out that the behind-the-scenes mastermind is your grandfather, and I confront your grandfather, will you hate me? Xiaochen hesitated and asked. Cheng Menjing lowered her head. After a while, she raised her head and said, don't joke around. How can my grandfather deal with you? He shouldn't do this. Oh. Why? Xiaochen was slightly surprised. You don't understand my grandfather's character. Although he is headstrong and very self-centered, he is not good at scheming. If he wants to deal with you, he will say it. The Qing family wants to deal with you. In the beginning, if he really wanted you to die, he would have forced you to die directly. He wouldn't use these conspiracies behind the scenes. He even let Chao Yuliang jump out to be the vanguard. Cheng Menjing said. Xiaochen nodded. It seemed that what Cheng Menjing said made some sense. Old Master Cheng's character should be like this. As the first aristocratic family in Songning, he had the capital to be strong and arrogant. There was no need for any conspiracies. It was also possible to use Cheng Zhongxian's matter as an opportunity to make him pay with his life, but he didn't do so. Instead, he used so many complicated means, which proved that this wasn't his original intention. In that case, it should be Cheng Zhongfan and Cheng Mengqiang's problem. Xiaochen said, actually, what I want to say is, one day, if I get rid of these people, will you be sad? Originally. I will. Cheng Menjing pursed her lips, but, during that car race, Chao Yuliang wanted to get rid of me too. Why should I be sad for them? I don't believe that it was Chao Yuliang's idea. As for that Li Shanpao, there was no conflict of interest between us. He didn't want to kill me. I'm relieved to hear that. Xiaochen smiled, thank you for supporting your fiancé. When I return to the Xiao family, I will treat you as a hero and enshrine you in the Xiao family's ancestral hall. Go to hell. Are you cursing me to die early? Cheng Menjing kicked Xiaochen. Also, what is the relationship between me and your Xiao family? Whose fiancé are you? You still want to get rid of others. You should be careful first. Don't get yourself killed. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.